welcome to Writers Blockbusters, the show where we treat the final edit of the movie like the script. I'm one of your hosts, Bob Rose, at Thundergrunt Bob on Instagram. And with me right now, who's going to introduce himself, is Jimmy.
Hi, I'm Jimmy George. I am a screenwriter and script consultant, and most recently, I'm trying to grow clovers in my backyard, so I'm trying to call myself a farmer. You can find me at scriptbutcher.com.
Jamie?
I'm Jamie Nash. I was wondering if I was on mute. I was like, am I on mute right now? I'm Jamie Nash. I'm on mute. You can't hear me, so I'm going to say whatever I want to about these two guys. No,
go for it.
So I am the writer of Save the Cat Writes for TV, Save the Cat Writes Horror, and the Save the Cat Beat You workbook.
And I Save the Dog.
My dog, speaking of cats, my dog is already complaining about this podcast. Usually it takes him about an hour before he complains. You can find me at jamienash.net, and I'm going to let the dog out of the gate. Keep talking.
While Jamie does that, this is Listener Questions, the sequel. I guess that's what we're calling it?
Yes.
Okay, the sequel. Not the squeakquel. We could call it the squeakquel.
The squeakquel is totally fine.
You can do that. Yeah, so we did this once before. If you have any interest in listening to us talk not about a specific movie and just answer listener questions, we did this once. We're doing it now. We will do it again.
Yes.
But first, before we start, I'm going to say all credit goes to Mr. Jimmy George, who is in charge of our email, and he compiled all this stuff into a nice presentation for us, where I'm sure if it was up to me and Jamie, we would have just had a complete messy document of stuff that was copy and paste from the internet.
It hurt my brain a little, but it's a joy.
But yeah, thank you, Jimmy, for just generally being in charge of the email. All that stuff.
And for anyone who does send in the emails, which is writersblockbusterspodcast@gmail.com, by the way. Right. I always send them to Jamie and Bob. I just kind of I'm the filter, it comes to me first. It's just easier that way.
It's your delegated job on the
show. Yes.
Did you want to talk about our chat first or go into questions first? We should have probably talked about that before we start recording. But this is a behind the scenes episode. So what do you want to do, Jimmy? You want to you said you went through our chat.
Oh yeah, I mean my big book report for this episode is I literally scrolled all the way back 9 years of Facebook DMs to answer one of these first questions, and that was okay. That's just for an answer for the question. Yeah. Okay, I didn't understand. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get into the listener questions, and then that'll lead into that.
Yeah.
The Facebook DM really needs a better interface. I feel like at one point it did, and then they took it away or something like that. I don't know.
And the search function has gotten worse somehow.
It's horrible.
It's really bad.
That's why I had to scroll back. I couldn't just find it.
Okay. So speaking of the first question we have is from Chris Mueller. How do I say it, Jamie?
Mueller.
Okay.
Mueller.
Like Bueller.
He's a writer blockbuster super fan.
Super fan. Okay.
The first three are all from him.
Okay, first three. First question. Make Jimmy say one mean thing about a movie that one of the other guys likes, and he can't apologize before or after the comment. # no more Mr. Nice Guy.
So my response to this is, we already did this. Listen to the Hereditary episode, Chris, because that's an episode where Jamie and Bob liked the movie, and I hated it. So there you go.
And also, I think
unapologetically, I believe. I mean, it was so long ago. Yeah,
it's happened since then, hasn't it? But it's never been passionate.
Well,
not like that.
I mean, Bob loved The Electric State, and Jimmy didn't like it so much.
I mean, it's like in my top 5 now. Like literally,
Bob
I like it more than RoboCop.
Every day.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible.
Bob's an Electric State cosplayer in his daily life.
We call ourselves Stadies.
Statesman.
Statesman. Yeah, the Statesman. Yeah, so listen to Hereditary. That basically answers that question.
Yes, that's the
Also,
quick...
that wasn't a question for Jimmy. That was actually a question for me and Jamie because it says make Jimmy say. We're supposed to force you to say something.
All right, fine.
All right. No, it's fine.
The
Hereditary.
hardest part I was scared of was trying to figure out a movie like we liked that Jimmy didn't like. That would have been a tricky one.
I
We
feel
would
like
be going
I feel like
on for
most
days.
I feel like most of the ones that you're not thrilled with, it's never hate.
Right.
Me?
It wouldn't be very
No.
fun.
Yeah, I don't like you.
No.
And I
It
feel
would-
like a lot of the time you qualify by saying this is a bad lesson.
Yes.
Like you hate it as a
Yes.
lesson more than
Yeah.
the movie existing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't want to have to talk about it. Well, Hereditary does it. God damn it!
Exactly. I don't want to have to like explain to a writer who's asking me questions
Right.
that like they're not Ari Aster.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. You're not Ari Aster. That's
Yeah.
the answer. Okay, Chris Mueller, number 2. Trolling question. Did he write that or is that?
Yeah,
no?
he did.
Okay. What other names did you come up with for the podcast? Writers Blockbusters seems very first drafty. Can I just say before you answer this, Jimmy?
Yes.
I have never said this on the show. I don't like the name of our show. And I, for the longest time, didn't realize something Jimmy's about to say. I just,
yeah.
Nor did I.
I'll be honest, I don't love the slash in our title.
I couldn't find the slash where it originated either.
Where it originated from. I don't like the slash, and we should have removed it when we switched over the show, like to the main feed. But
it is what it is.
it is what it is. We're not changing it, but it is the one part of the show that I'm like, the title. I just it's like
Writers Blockbusters has since been trademarked by another company, so the slash is the only way we
And I said there's somebody on YouTube who years after we did this show does a show called Writers Blockbusters, so that's annoying.
Great minds, right?
Yeah. Okay. So I went through because I could also be an archivist in another life. I went through all the way back to our first messages, and for anyone out there listening, I'm talking maybe thousands of messages backward in our DM chain, our group chat. Okay, and here we go. We'll go one by one. This is our first list of the episode, by the way, the first of many lists, and it's a list of the rejected show titles that we brainstormed.
I'm gonna like the other one so much better. Why?
All right, number 1, script hacks with dual meaning that we're just a bunch of hacks anyway.
Right. That's okay.
Number 2, flip the script.
That's more hackish than script hack.
All right, they just get sillier. Are you guys ready for this? Number 3 pitched title for the show. Who wrote this shit?
That would have shit in the well, the shit would be like, punctuation. And
Yeah,
shit, right?
yeah. We have it with a question mark and an exclamation point.
Right.
That was Jamie's pitch.
That's amazing. That it eventually became a thing naturally.
Yeah. That was Jamie's pitch for the show title. Wright Brothers with WRITE was number 4. And then this was Jamie's next pitch. Nobody knows anything with an exclamation point.
That doesn't even sound like a writing podcast.
Well, that's
amazing.
That's the famous quote from William Goldman.
It's relevant, Bob.
I know.
All right, and the next one, the next 2 were Bob's. Okay. Number 6, WRITE, right hand men.
It's not good.
It's not terrible.
It's not terrible. It's not good. Yeah.
All right, this one might be my favorite one. Number 7, also Bob. Shave the cat.
Oh man,
Oh
that's
man! All right,
Man, Bob
what was my
Bob was
justification?
spitting gold.
Bob was spitting gold. And then number 8, Jamie followed that up with, "What about Nicolas Cage talks scripts?"
I had some good ones.
That's the title. Nicolas Cage talks scripts.
I think that
Like, what the fuck are we doing?
But that would have been like the most awesome name for a podcast.
And then Bob followed that up with Schlockbusters, and then said, "Well, that's a good name for a different show."
Right.
Schlockbusters.
Mhm.
And then,
Yeah.
so we got there on 10 tries. Maybe I'll read the chat, with which I sent Bob and Jamie this screen cap at like 2 a.m, which I didn't realize it was 2 a.m, by the way. Sorry about that. Bob says, "Wait." And I said, "Bob has something. I can feel it." And Bob said, "Writers Blockbusters." And then Jamie was like, "Ha!"
I can't believe that was mine.
Yeah,
I
you
don't
came up with
remember
it, dude.
that. And I think I said to you guys last time when we read this question as like talking about this episode, I was like, I've always disliked the name of our podcast. And I came up.
It's your fault, Bob.
First of all, I think we would be a lot more popular if we were Nicolas Cage on scripts.
Well, that's it. We're changing it. No,
I think we made a fundamental mistake at the beginning of our podcasting.
Everyone would be instantly disappointed when they
Yeah.
when they logged in.
I actually think Nobody Knows Anything would both be thematically on point and kind of cool. I think that would have been a good
Yeah, it would have been
That's pretty good.
podcast too.
It'd have to. You'd have. I mean, honestly, nothing matters about the title more than having screenwriting podcasts
Right.
in there. We could have put anything before screenwriting podcast as long as it says that.
Nobody knows anything about screenwriting.
Podcast.
Nicolas Cage knows
Nicolas Cage.
screenwriting podcast.
Just call the podcast Nicolas Cage. That's the name of our, like, we're naming a person, you know?
Yeah. This is already so awesome.
Yeah. So I named the show and I didn't remember, and I also don't like
the name.
Also, I think over the last 8 years, we've kind of shown that it isn't just Blockbusters that we're doing anyway.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
we always try to steer towards that, but we keep moving away because the Blockbuster is disappearing.
The history of the show has seen the decline of that.
Of the Blockbusters, so it's like it's just kind of anything that works. Writers, whatever. That's not a bad title. Yeah. Number 3, Chris Mueller. What's a movie you always wanted to see in the theater but never did?
Who wants to go first?
I mean, there's been so many repertory screenings in the last like 6-7 years at this point. The Adventures of Baron Munchausen.
Oh shit.
That's what I want to see in the theater. I've never seen it in the theater.
I saw that one in the theater.
Well, I'm jealous. I was too young to know what that was.
What do you got, Jamie?
Yeah, what do you got, Jamie?
9.5 weeks. I don't know. Not really.
Ooh.
I thought you were serious.
Some weird creepy ass movie. Anyway, I've never seen, and honestly, I could have fixed this many times. Like, this is a movie I could have seen, and it only comes out like every summer. I've never seen Jaws in the theater.
Oh my god!
Whoa!
It's never
the Senator every 4th of July.
Yeah, I don't think
Jamie.
I don't think I ever did it.
You would love the Senator screening because I talked about this on the Jaws episode. Like, there's all these kids there, and seeing the 10-year-old who's never seen it, like jump in their seats at all the right moments. It's so fun.
It's fun. It's funny. I did go to see Close Encounters one time at the Senator, but I haven't seen Jaws. So I've seen a lot of the movies that I never saw, like Apocalypse Now. I went and saw a Godfather screening, but yeah, never saw Jaws.
For
Awesome.
me, it would be Aliens. I've been able to see a lot of revival screenings recently. I saw The Thing finally on the big screen at the IMAX downtown Baltimore, the real IMAX, not the Limax.
Right.
That's a Sean Jones reference for coming up in a minute.
For coming up, right? Yeah.
But yeah, the Aliens is one. I've seen Alien on the big screen. I saw Alien 3 on the big screen and 4 and so on, but I've never seen Aliens on the big screen.
I can't remember if I saw like a a recent screening of
Yeah,
Aliens or
revival
anything.
screening. Yeah.
Probably not. I don't know if I've ever seen Aliens, man.
Like,
Dude,
If it happens, we'll go.
we'll go.
We'll go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
It would be so good.
I think I talked about it in the Aliens episode, but I still to this day consider Aliens the greatest theatrical experience. I
Oh
ever
shit.
had.
Nice.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't hit that way anymore, but
Well,
it
of
was
course,
it was a combination of a packed Westview cinema. I'm sure I said this on the episode. It was packed. It was sold out opening night. I was already a little scared of Alien. Like, Alien was a movie I never saw, but I read the comic book and I had the toy and I was really into Alien, but I was a little scared of the movie, so I never saw it. So then I sat and saw it. But here's the other thing. It was a brand new Dolby digital surround system.
Oh
And-
Oh
shit.
man.
And the combination of all those things. So for me, experiencing like the chest burster and things like that was really the first time when I saw Aliens, because I hadn't seen Alien before it, even though I knew what happened. So all those things were both intensely scary, but then there was a lot of humor in it and action and things like that. It was the best to this day. Like, I was thinking the other day, the one that's neck and neck with it is Raiders of the Lost Ark when I saw that in the theater, but Aliens probably takes it because of the scariness, because of the edge it had. It just probably it delivered on all the thrills in some ways that Raiders did, and even the humor and stuff. But it also scared me a little bit. So all
And-
those things, very tense.
For anyone who's not a local listener, also, I just want to add, like, that was one of my favorite theaters growing up. It had the shag carpet.
Yep.
It had
Yeah.
all the old 70s decor still to
Yeah.
the end. Like, I saw like Space Jam with like a 70s decor all around me
Mhm.
Right.
on
Yep.
like one of those screens. I forget what the screen is called where it like curves.
Mhm.
And they had the curtain that would close and open before
Yep.
the movie. Like it had so much
Gotta miss
charm
that
and
curtain.
character.
The
Oh,
senator has
man.
the curtain still.
Yeah, the senator does.
The
Yeah,
senator has the curtain.
but
yeah.
like it had all that old going to the movies charm. It's a Lidl now. Every time I go
Good
to
prices,
the Lidl, I
good
get
prices.
so sad.
Yeah, can't beat that
But yeah.
price. This is kind of a perfect lead into the next person, which is our friend Sean Jones, director of Camp Killer. Check out Camp Killer. Because Sean is actually in charge of all the Mondo. We're doing like Mondo, like repertory screenings and stuff. Jimmy went to the Mortal Kombat one.
Yes.
Yeah, like so because of Sean, I've seen and his work with the theater, Warehouse Theater, I've seen so many movies that I would have said for the last question. Like Sean
Oh,
solved the problem and he's going to continue solving them. Like I, like there's stuff he keeps talking about. I'm like, yep, that's on the list of stuff I've never seen in the theater. I want to.
Bob,
Yeah,
is there a
so-
way we can plug that? Like where
I mean,
people who are local.
Yeah, follow Mondo Baltimore on, I guess, Instagram or Facebook or wherever, mondobaltimore.com. I think that's the website.
Is it every other Wednesday?
Well,
One Wednesday a month?
First Thursday of every month is
First-
normal Mondo at the
Okay.
Auto Bar, bad movie at a bar, and then we have movies we love at Warehouse Cinemas, the Rotunda.
Yes. An excellent venue, by the way.
It's an awesome venue. We just showed Pieces like 3 nights ago.
That's so awesome.
It's so awesome.
I'm
A
actually-
packed theater. It's like it
Yeah.
was sold out.
Dude.
I'm actually on the board of directors or something. I'm in the
You're in
the
the
private
Facebook group, yeah.
group. I
We don't
know how
really use it that much.
I don't
Yeah.
know how I ended up in it, but somehow I'm in the Facebook.
You were just
group.
so involved with Baltimore film that you got put in there
Yeah.
somehow.
Yeah, I've never been, but I always enjoy watching the choices fly by on Facebook.
There you go. Anyway, this question's from Sean Jones. What would each of you consider to be the golden example of a perfectly executed script? I would have put, if I was writing this question, and you can't say Back to the Future. So yeah,
I'll go first because I don't
yeah,
have a
sure,
good answer.
yeah,
I thought a lot about this, and I tried really hard not to like overthink any of these. So a lot of these are going to be off the cuff, but this was one of the first ones, so it was
yeah.
easy to think about a lot. What's complicated about this question is so many, as we've learned on so many of the episodes, is that like so many of our favorite movies, as Bob says, we treat the final edit of the movie like the
Like the
script.
script,
And
right?
so many of our favorite movies, the things that we love about it and the edit and the final cut and the execution that he's talking about didn't happen on the page.
Right.
It got reworked either on set or in the edit or in, reshoots. And like some of the ones that instantly came to mind, I was like, no, because I know the ending's not in the script. And like Seven, the some of the most famous, I was gonna say Seven, but some of the most famous moments in Seven aren't in the script, and there's a lot of deleted scenes.
Right.
So the closest answer I could give is The Matrix, because I use that a lot for teaching. The Matrix, and because it's your classic hero's journey. It it it's just so good on so many levels, as we talked about in that episode. And the only thing, to my knowledge, that we discovered doing that episode that wasn't in the script originally was the desert of the real, and the studio made them do that as a reshoot because they were like, nobody's gonna understand what the
Right,
hell
right,
the
right.
Matrix is. So they
Right.
added like a 5-minute exposition sequence, and it's like one of my favorite exposition sequences of all time. And it's in the script that's out there and available now. So they retroactively put it in the script. So I would say, Sean, for now, The Matrix is my answer.
It's a tricky question because he's not asking for a perfect, quote unquote, perfect movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's asking for the execution of the script. Jamie,
Yeah,
sorry.
and same like my favorite movies of all time are Raiders of the Lost Ark and Jaws, for that matter, and all the Aliens, and Aliens is actually a really good script. But I would go with, but there's reasons, like I never want to, if you ever read the Raiders script, I don't think it's a great example to give a newbie and say, do this. It's not, I don't know. It's just, it's kind of based on the serials and things like that, and the cliffhangers. So for me, and honestly, Back to the Future would be one of the ones I choose. Like
You can say Back to the Future. I just said as a joke.
No, I thought of like when I thought about this, I was like, Back to the Future would be one.
But it's so. But which script of Back? There's so many different versions of that.
Yeah, whatever script made the movie, which is the last one before the movie, which I haven't read, so I'm not sure what that script looks like. But anyway, with that in mind, I'd go with Galaxy Quest. That was my favorite. Yep.
That's a great answer, Jamie.
Yeah.
We also did on the show, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, we did that.
But Back to the Future and Galaxy Quest are the type of movies I wish somebody would just hire me to write for the rest of my life, because they're kind of the movies I like to write. They're kind of funny. They have character arcs. They have genre in them. They're like sci-fi or action and things like that. They're just kind of the movies I've always wanted to make. I wouldn't put Ghostbusters into the best script category because I don't. Again, it's a movie I love, but it's that tone is something is the kind of thing I love. And I think Galaxy Quest kind of nails the script portion of that better than any other movie.
Those movies fit together if we're not talking about this question. But when we're talking about this question, it's like tonally in the video store, they fit together.
Right.
And when I originally read this question, which I feel like I read it wrong, like we're talking about, my first thought was Men in Black. But then I was like, wait a minute, Men in Black, the whole third act was rewritten like the last minute. So even though I consider Men in Black like a perfect pop movie, it's not this question. So then I thought, what's my thought process on this? And it's another movie we did. We did Men in Black too. I was thinking, what is a script? Well, it's almost a nebulous concept as you're shooting a movie. And if it's a writer director, the script is kind of in their head, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my answer I'm going to give is Uncle Buck.
Oh,
Because
ooh.
which we did, and I was thinking like whatever John Hughes comes up with, you could count as a script, and the movie couldn't be more perfect for what the intention was with the script on the outside, even though it was so different and changed.
Yeah.
But that's a perfect execution of what you set out to do is Uncle Buck with
And
the guy. He wrote it for the man, and you're actively making it yourself. You are the script, you know? So I know it's a weird thing to say, but
I love it.
it's a weird
love the
question to
answer.
ask because of how films are made, you know? Okay. All right, let's go to at Maddie B. We'll just call him Maddie B. Jagger Watch 68, whatever that is. JAGR Watch 68 on Twitter. Maddie B. When and how should a screenwriter approach writing flashback sequences in a horror movie? Feels like Shyamalan is a master at them. Signs and Split as examples.
Ooh. I'll go off the fly. I don't have the when, but I'll give you my favorite how. And there's two types of flashbacks for me. And that is there's the one that's kind of just wedged in there as like forced exposition just randomly, right? I'm sure Jamie reads a lot of these with his students and his consultants. So it's just like the writer needs to explain something that can't be explained otherwise, and they just randomly throw a flashback without any motivation for it, and the audience goes, oh god. And the reader. And then there's the other version, which is one that I think works really well, which is when a character is experiencing the past emotionally, and what we're actually experiencing as a flashback is in that moment, whatever is happening is organically triggering a flashback for the character. And so what we're seeing is actually their inner emotional turmoil happening, and we're getting context to why it's happening. And if you can make it feel like an extra like layer of understanding of the character in a way that's like organic to the scene, I feel like that almost always works. Like, we're hungry to know more about why they're feeling the way they're feeling, and whatever's in the moment, you know, like we talk about William Martell's touchstones and twitches. Often the touchstone or the twitch or the salt on the wound will trigger the flashback, and then it goes back to present, but like we just experienced what the character was re-experiencing. So that's my answer.
Jamie?
Yeah, I don't know. I generally don't like doing flashbacks as a writer. In fact, I have a recent script I'm working on, and the producers kind of were trying to get me to do flashbacks. I mean, one of the producers suggested, like, why don't you do this? And it was that kind of thing that you mentioned, Jimmy, where they were just kind of stuffing some flashbacks in there in the guise of character development or something like that. And I'm just like, I really didn't want to do it. So I generally try to stay away from them. I think there's two ways that I'll give three versions of flashbacks I like to write. And this is less me with my teacher hat on and me just as with my writer hat on, because I think my opinion on flashbacks is they work when they work, and they usually don't work. That's kind of my opinion on it. But the three times I'd say, one is the one you're kind of talking about, Jimmy, I think, which is the one that aligns us with the character. That's the POV character.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're feeling what they feel.
Exactly.
We've experienced their past, you know, like, you know, if I can't remember what the flashbacks and Split were they like, one girl did she have that, yeah, like,
I mean, in Signs is probably easier because it's the car crash.
The car crash, exactly. So that gets us on board with, the journey. We can walk in Mel Gibson's character's shoes throughout the story because we know that experience. But the other ones, I'd say, one of the best pieces of advice I've ever heard for flashbacks, but I think it especially works in horror movies, is flashbacks work best when they give an answer people are dying to hear the answer to. So if you can give somebody an answer they're dying to hear the answer to, and then show the flashback, I think that's a really strong way. Like, it's like, we want to see it. So, okay, here it is. We're going to show it to you. And last but not least, in horror movies, I tend to, when I write flashbacks, they tend to be kind of fragmented and surreal. And I tend not to do like, let's take a timeout and see what this person was like.
So are they like a puzzle that you got to put together?
They're a little bit more of a puzzle. There's something. And what I try to do with my flashbacks, this is why I don't like to write them, because I always challenge myself that if I'm going to write a flashback, it has to have its own story to it. It can't just be like, here's that moment you want to see. Like I'm like, what's the story in the flashback?
So it's like a subplot, basically.
It's a flashback. Yeah.
So that's a good.
I want to hook people almost like you would with a subplot. Like I'm not just throwing something.
It makes me think of Minority Report and the missing memory fragments of the psychic that we're trying to put together. We're seeing flashes, and then eventually we see the whole flashback come together.
Yeah. So that's usually what I aspire to do is I try to make it into a story. So and that's why I don't like doing them, because that's hard to do. It's hard.
Well, you're telling another story within a story.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, now I got to break a whole nother story with twists and turns. And you're always like, Lost was my favorite version of flashbacks because there was this thing they were doing in Lost that I kind of thought was next level. And I think like a TV show like This Is Us eventually borrowed it. And in Paradise does it now.
Paradise is picking that up. Yeah, same team as
style,
This Is Us. Same team as This Is Us. So,
but what it did was, first of all, not that I know this isn't a question about Lost or a thing, but why Lost worked. One, it told stories in each episode, so it would tell like somebody's story. Like I remember Kate, how she was arrested and things like that.
I mean, in the flashback stories.
In the flashback stories, they told a story. They told a complete. It was like they wrote short stories and they told you a short story about a character. Two, we really wanted to know the answer of who these characters were.
It was all about the mystery box for each character, for sure.
But the next level thing I thought Lost used to do is, if you show somebody in the past and you show them now, you're leaving this. What Lost did great was it was math to be done in the middle.
How did they get this way? Yeah.
It left us to do the math. And I always thought that was the coolest thing Lost did. And then when it did, and then all of a sudden it did flash forwards.
Yes.
And it did the same trick. It was like, oh, I'm going to show you something now. I'm going to show you something a couple years from now.
What happens in between where we're,
Yes. So it created a mystery that was interactive with the audience. So anyway, that's Lost is my favorite style of flashbacks for that reason. I thought they did a great job.
I still refuse to watch it. All right. Next up from Sean Quinn. Oh no, from Corey Holland on Twitter at Corey Holland. For theme stated, is it / should it always be stated via dialogue, or is showcasing theme through action / character behavior enough? Do any movies come to mind as examples to look at? If so,
so here's my bigger thing about theme stated. I think of all the save the cat beats, and theme stated is a save the cat beat, right? I think it's the most arbitrary in some ways, or just kind of I would say ham-fisted, because I think it's very valuable. It was very valuable to me to see theme stated, because it forced me to do something I wasn't doing that I should have been doing, which was show the character flawed in the setup, and maybe have somebody call him on it, maybe hint at the theme, maybe start thinking about this theme, maybe start the theme as a storyline. But I think theme stated, if you wanted to skip theme stated from your screenplay and you were doing Save the Cat, that would be okay. I don't think, I think most of my favorite movies from the 70s and 80s didn't think about theme when they wrote, really, in the same way that theme stated does it. So they don't have a theme stated, or we kind of have to go back and kind of
And
say
excavate it ourselves.
exactly.
Yeah.
We kind of say things are theme stated, but they weren't really thinking in those terms. So because I really do think if it's optional, I of course think it doesn't have to be stated in dialogue, but I do think there's great value to do it. I think you should do it, because I think it'll kind of help you think that way. It'll help tie things together. It'll help your thematic writing. I think it's a great idea, but I do think it's an optional idea. And that's my theme stated comment.
I mean, I couldn't say it better. And I just wanted to, I did a random search while Jamie was talking, because he asked for an example. And I just wanted to pull something from the show that we did in the past. Demolition Man. Sandra Bullock's character in the end says to Sylvester Stallone's character, "I now understand that under certain circumstances, violence is necessary." After killing a criminal, by the way. So that's the theme of that movie we figured out, which we didn't realize was going to be.
And you see that through their behavior and action. Mm-hmm. Also, she says, she's doing both.
Yes.
Yeah. That's good.
One of my favorite episodes of the show, by the way.
It's a good episode. I think because we were like almost defending a movie we loved.
We were just, yeah.
Yeah, because
the listeners voted for it. Remember, we did like a survey of which Stallone movie to do, and then we were shocked that everybody said Demolition Man. Then we were really shocked at how much craft was on display.
Right.
Like, it aged really well.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it's never been more popular. Okay. From Sean Quinn. Am I reading this whole chunk?
Or I'd say go for it, because it's all important.
It's just a long one, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, Sean Quinn. I have a question about your use of magical realism in reference to Oppenheimer. My understanding from a prose background is that magical realism describes surreal elements that are objectively happening within the story's reality and that characters accept as part of their world. Pan's Labyrinth, Shape of Water, Midnight in Paris. It wouldn't apply to dreams, hallucinations, or subjective internal experiences, like Oppenheimer's anxiety-induced visions of faces peeling off, which no character, including Oppenheimer himself, takes as real. Is this term used differently in screenwriting, or do you mean it in the sense that, for a moment, the viewer genuinely can't tell? Not trying to be pedantic, just curious since I'm coming from prose and still finding my feet in screenwriting.
So for me, by the way, Sean is a friend, and he's been in one of my movies, and he's an awesome actor, and he's also a filmmaker too. So for me, magical realism, I would describe, and I think I did in the episode, he's probably talking about something that I said in the episode.
Yeah, I don't remember the episode.
So like Oppenheimer seeing visions of faces peeling off that, like, he says, which no character, including Oppenheimer himself, takes as real. But like in the moment, it's like, it feels tangible, right? It feels like those people's faces are really peeling off. So for me, I would count that as magical realism. For me, like, for instance, I think of like anything on Ally McBeal, where she's like in a moment, and then like there's like a baby dancing, right? And then like she's back in the moment's normal. For me, that would be magical realism,
which is similar to like a musical.
Yeah, very much like playful, like Bridget Jones' Diary, when she's walking down the street as the story progresses, she always walks past this giant billboard in the city, and the billboard is like scrolling out her diary entries as like she's giving narration. No one in the world sees those diary entries, but she's imagining this happening, right? And then it goes immediately back to reality. I would call that magical realism. But maybe I'm misusing the term. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, I can't say. This is kind of like, I just don't know enough about the term magical realism to say it. It's kind of, it feels a little bit like Jimmy's Alanis Morissette using the term ironic here. Maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe so. Maybe it's just my problem.
Yeah, because I think, and I actually think, the person asking the question probably knows more about this than me, so I'll defer. I'll defer to them because
Sean.
So yeah, I'm going to say Sean probably knows more about the term magical realism than I do, and my gut says it probably is specific to like worlds that contain actual magic, and maybe it doesn't pertain to like psychological expressionism, I don't know, or something like that. Like,
he says like in subjective internal experience, so dreams, hallucinations, visions.
Like, maybe magical realism is more like a world where weird things happen and people accept them as normal, as opposed to visualizing internal psychological concepts. I'm willing to say I don't know. I don't know.
Also, we stumped Jamie for like
I know. Also, I think I think
Sean, I really ever looked up, to be honest.
Sean's I've met Sean. Sean also is admitting that he's asking about like the difference between a movie doing it versus like prose.
And I apologize for not knowing.
I
thought I did. I said it with confidence.
Well, a movie's working on several senses, whereas prose are just.
It is. It's almost like magical realism to the audience,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Stuff as normal, even though it's just normal. But to the question, because part of the question is like in novels we call magical realism this, but in film, do you call it something different? I will say that this term is thrown about a lot during Blacklist time, because there's a lot of things like the Michael Jordan story. As seen through the eyes of his monkey, his pet monkey.
What was the Elton John
Bubbles
biopic? Like that one.
Right.
Yeah, filled with it.
And a lot of times the word magical realism gets applied to that, which is similar to what I think Oppenheimer's doing. Like, I don't think in the Elton John movie magic is real. It's not like a Harry Potter world.
But Elton is experiencing the magic as if it's real momentarily and then back in reality.
Right.
I would think a great example of this would be Fight Club.
Yes, that's a perfect example.
Right, because he says surreal elements that are objectively happening within the story's reality.
Mm-hmm.
What do you count that with Fight Club?
So here's the question, and honestly, we don't have the answer. So we will send this question. We'll send this question to another podcast and then report back.
Right. The Nick Cage.
I'll send you the link, Sean, when it's done. Yeah, the Nick Cage talks.
Nick Cage talks scripts.
Nick Cage. See what Nick. I bet Nick Cage has a great answer to this,
dude.
He does, but it makes no sense.
I think the bottom line with this is, if you have magic or some surrealism, is it an analogy? Is it analog, or is it digital? Is it real? You know what I mean? So I think in the case of like Oppenheimer, it's a metaphor. It's you know what I mean? It's not actual like happening, or there's not a ghost
and
there.
In my experience, I've heard that called magical realism.
And I have similarly heard that like when Blacklist scripts.
That's what I'm talking about. In the screenwriting world, the codification of those things, that premise paint, that gimmick, I have heard is it called
So
magical realism. So
it's really a question of terminology
It's a terminology
in a
question.
field. It's not really a question of what
But
is
I
magical
think it's a
realism.
good question because like
It is. No,
someone
I'm
may
not.
be
I'm not insulting the question.
Yeah,
I
I
was
know
just
you're
saying,
not. I know you're not.
It's just
I know you're not.
terminology of it.
Yeah.
Is really.
I just suspect Sean is probably right on this, and
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
wrong. That's what I'm
I
thinking.
think you're
Yes.
right too.
Yeah.
Just call it whatever you want, just as long as the whatever you're writing is good. Thank you, Sean. And this is another one from Sean Quinn. So
Yep.
there you go.
Not that guy again.
Yeah, this guy again. What's this? This guy. I deliberately build ambiguity into my scripts, but I constantly worry it tips into frustrating lack of clarity rather than pleasurable ambiguity or mystery. How do you know which side of that line you're on? And are there concrete techniques to staying on the right side?
I want to hear Jamie first.
Yeah, so I firmly have fallen in the camp over the years. I started out where Sean was. I was an ambiguity person. And after years of working with producers and directors and actors, I lean more toward the less ambiguity side of things. But I want to make two distinctions. One is I don't even know how to put this really. There's ambiguity in the story. So let's say like the Blair Witch Project, right? We never really reveal what the witch is. There's ambiguity, something like that. That's one ambiguity. And that's a business choice. That's a story choice kind of thing. Sometimes my story needs that ambiguity. Sometimes it doesn't. And I would say often the business choice is less ambiguity than more, is the better business choice, but not always. It depends on, if you're going to become some weird A24 stylized kind of thing with a certain director, the ambiguity might work. But when it comes to writing the script and the dialogue and things like that, I'm much more literal than I ever was in the past. I'm much more on the nose than I ever was in the past. I actually put clarity as the number one priority. So if anything risks getting misinterpreted in the telling of the story, it's actually, like I said, the number one priority I have is clarity. I do not want any misinterpretations. So they're my two distinctions. I will say, just in my experience, when you go down the path of development, they will grind the ambiguity out of your story.
Absolutely.
So I like to start there. I generally, as a business choice, I start there, even though I probably don't believe that's what's best, especially for horror, which I write a lot of. But I almost feel like the less ambiguous story is the better business choice most of the time.
Yes, and
Yeah, right.
You talked about the production side of things, like when your potential talent, whether that be whoever you're trying to get involved, is unable to like connect with it because of that ambiguity. What you run the risk of is, like you said, Jamie, like confusing people, bumping people in ways that you weren't anticipating for the sake of that mystery, overarching mystery about whatever it is trying to be ambiguous. This is like one of the common problems I deal with scripts that are sent to me, which is like people are often coming from novel writing, which like uses ambiguity a lot more than movies do. And in the past, I used to be like hard no on all ambiguity. Now I feel like it's like circling around the audience contract discussion we talk about. Like, and I feel like you kind of get leeway once or twice if you're trying to do it with how's my main character feeling about this? Like the writer might want the reader and the audience not to know how that character is feeling, and like you can't do that for a whole movie, but if you really want to do it, you can probably save it for those really meaningful moments where holding the character's emotions close to hiding the emotional cards has some big emotional payoff like close by, then do it. So I would say proceed with caution. I am definitely, Jamie, you made a great example with the Blair Witch, because it's kind of like for like villains and threats and reasons for why something is or isn't on all different aspects of a story. I don't have a problem with ambiguity. Where I have a problem with it is a character's emotional states and
Right.
characters' motivations, which are
Yes,
tied together.
yes.
And when you just like, you don't know, it's like when you're talking to a person and you can't read them, it's very frustrating. Now, if that frustration is the intent, how can you argue with it? How can we argue with that, right? But you have to ask yourself, like, how long can you get away with that before it starts to become annoying and emotionally disengaging, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I answered that well, but
to your Blair Witch point, my tastes run toward Lovecraftian monsters and
unexplainable.
We can't understand the evil. Like arguably my favorite horror movie is Halloween, the first one. And I think it's because we really don't understand why, or there's not a lot of motivations or anything like that. So
Michael Myers is like, he's the unknowable monster.
Yes, that's what makes him so scary. Yes.
That is what makes him scary. So like my tastes run toward that, but I know that if I deliver a script like that, I'll get the notes. The notes are going, why is he doing this? What's he doing? Blah, blah, blah.
You kind of picked a perfect example, Jamie, because like Rob Zombie gave you the notes version where it's like, why is Michael Myers evil?
Yeah. And
he answered the question and people liked it or hated it.
What I've experienced in my world, in my career as it is it's kind of funny. In the writing now, I'm very unambiguous. I'm very on the nose. This is something I say all the time. So when I write the script, I come in with just on the nose. And I don't mean that in the worst possible way, but it's kind of more on the nose.
Tastefully on the nose.
Tastefully on the nose. Then I get an artist or a director. So maybe it's an actor, maybe it's usually a director. And they don't like the on the nose. They want it to be, they're artists.
Ambiguous.
They want it to be ambiguous. And they had me rewrite it to make it ambiguous. And I'm cool with that.
David Lynch wouldn't do this, Jamie.
Yeah. And I'm cool with that. It's just, it's very easy to do. You just scale it back a little bit. You don't say all the things. And I scale it back. And that's fine. And then what happens in ADR, which happens after the movie's done, I have to write all these lines where it's the back of somebody's head and they dub in later. The witch is a monster. It's a supernatural creature, and it's the back of somebody's head. And it almost always happens that way. I mean, so much so that whenever I tell people that, they're like, yeah, that's exactly what happens. Almost to the point where I think directors should learn to shoot the on the nose script and then edit it back, because then they at least have it and you don't have to look at the back of people's heads talking about it.
People screaming off screen. Just saying.
Yeah. Unless you have a really powerful producer or studio behind you, like that has the artist's back, those things are all gonna, because you're gonna do a test screening and they're gonna go, I don't understand why the Blair Witch is doing it. I don't understand and that's the point. But then they're trying to answer that question, anyway. So
it's another great question though, Sean. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Jake Wright Nor. I can't these things. It's like Jamie saying writers' names.
It's Bob's turn.
It's my turn to say names wrong. At Jake Whitenor on Twitter. I'm of the belief that everything should have meaning. Maybe I need to stop. I love that part. I've watched some cartoons, and to keep the story going, a character threw something at another to get them to scratch their face. In my mind, I'm thinking that wouldn't work, but it did. Is it a shortcut? I'm going to be honest. I don't totally understand what he's talking about in the second half of this question.
It kind of, the question starts kind of like intellectual, and then
Yeah,
it's cartoons throwing something at
I
you.
love it. I love it.
Why was I guess what I'm wondering is like
What story?
I want to know what happens
does
in the
that work?
story
I think
that
he's
like
talking about throwing meaningless obstacles
No,
instead of making the obstacle or whatever it is. The source, the engine the engine for conflict be
right.
thematic is what I read. Why that was like a meaningless engine for conflict or meaningless engine to get scratched.
It's not organically born out of whatever.
Yes,
whatever it's about. Yeah,
right.
You can do that. It not all. I mean, it depends.
Well, if it's we've talked about if it's a comedy, coincidence.
I was going to say with comedy, every like at least back in the old days, every Simpsons episode started with a completely different, inciting thing that would just happen that would lead to the events of the actual plot of the episode. Do you guys remember that?
Yes.
It would always be like some completely different thing. Like a new soda is released in Springfield, and then that would lead to Marge and Homer have problems during their anniversary.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like it would just have like it wouldn't be the same. That's comedy though. That's different.
But it does seem like he's circling around the comedy.
He does say cartoons. So,
yeah, like in a comedy. Not that all cartoons. This cartoon he's talking about sounds like a comedy, and we've talked about in the. I
wish you would have said the name.
Randomness, coincidence,
right?
Which doesn't have. Some people say that it has meaning, but it doesn't have meaning. But in comedies, coincidence is the engine for all the comedy and all the conflict and all the tension and everything. So
with comedy, is it funny?
Yeah.
If it works, then it doesn't matter if it's thematic or.
So I guess
whatever.
That's the best answer that we have.
Yeah. I wonder what cartoon he's talking about. So, a character threw something at somebody's face and they scratched their face and it wasn't thematic. Okay.
The next one, Bob, we're skipping
I know.
for time. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. This is who's this from? The Wild Robot Problem?
Adam Russell. It's like a 4-part
question. It's like a whole email. Okay.
Yeah. It's like a 4-part question. Maybe we could stop after each one.
Yeah, we're gonna do it separate. This is from Adam Russell. Sorry, I didn't realize that. I thought that was Okay. First segment. I was watching The Wild Robot. Terrific film. And I noticed that the story begins in the special world. A factory. Produced robot opens its eyes to find itself on an uninhabited wild land populated with animals. It's a great contrast, the pinnacle of scientific innovation, forced to exist in a primal natural world. I thought of other films that do something similar. I thought of Mad Max Fury Road. But as that is a sequel, most audiences are somewhat aware of that post-apocalyptic world. Lord of the Flies, the novel and the movie, does this.
I guess I mislabeled this, so the question follows. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, that's my fault, Bob.
No, it's okay. What are the dangers and or benefits of doing this in a script? Foregoing, at least in the beginning, the ordinary world of the protagonist.
Oof.
I haven't seen The Wild Robot. I'll tell you that.
Me neither. Jamie, have you?
No. But
all three of us. I thought
you don't need to for the question. I'm just noting it.
Yeah.
I'm kind of parsing the question. Jimmy, do you have a handle on the question?
So he's asking. He's skipping the before world, basically.
Yeah.
Skipping the before world.
But does Lord of the Rings, or I'm sorry, Lord of the Flies? It's not Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
It kind of starts on the island.
Okay.
We don't really get the class.
So what that means to me is the ordinary world is like, in Mad Max Fury Road, that is kind of the ordinary world in some ways. You know what I mean? Like the world they're in is, for that story, is the ordinary world. And I think that's the problem, is the ordinary world. The ordinary world is a story construct. Like it depends on the story. So like a Batman story, maybe a very special world where he's already Batman and he's fighting crime, but to him that's an ordinary world, or that day, it's an ordinary world. Um, from dusk till dawn or something, I don't even know how that's structured, but when they start as criminals, that's their ordinary world. There might have been a world where it might have started that they're on the run or something like that. I don't really remember how From Dusk Till Dawn starts.
Yeah, you've been right this whole time. I've seen
Okay.
it recently, so yeah.
So you don't have to show them not on the run, because the ordinary world of that particular story, the thing that's going to get disrupted and interrupted, is them on the run.
Right.
So that's what I would say. There are a lot of stories. It's kind of like when I say story before the story. It's like the ordinary world is really what are we jumping into at the beginning, the story before the story. And it could be ordinary. It could just be people that go to work every day and have regular relationships. Or it could be a world like Mad Max Fury Road, where every day is a new adventure, and we're kind of coming in on the back end of a previous adventure or something like that. And that could be the ordinary world.
Also, in this case, once again, all three of us haven't seen the movie, but
sorry, Adam.
Sorry, yeah. Wouldn't the fact? I mean, I'm assuming they're assuming it's just like you understand what a robot is, and you can guess.
Maybe
you know what I mean. The audience has that grounding.
Maybe Wall-E is an example of that. Too.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
they don't show you in the modern time when he was created. They only show you.
Exactly. They just show you him collecting trash and no humans left on the planet.
Right.
They don't show you a time.
So that's Wall-E's ordinary world, right? He's just like a robot on a
he's
desolate
alone
planet,
collecting
right?
trash. Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
Did we ever do Wall-E? We didn't do Wall-E.
No, we definitely need to. A movie that doesn't have dialogue for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
I just want to add one thing before we move on to the second part of it, and the third part of this. I will say what I run into a lot when I'm sent scripts on this topic is a little different problem than what you're describing, Jamie. And I don't even think you were posing it as a problem, which is I read a lot of scripts with like a 5-page before world. So the premise kicks into gear fully. Like the lock-in is like page 5. Right. So the quote unquote ordinary world before world, we're only getting like one scene, and it doesn't give us any of the Blake Snyder's things that need fixing. So there's nothing established in relationship problem, responsibility problem, all the personal problems that the story in an arc plot cheeseburger intends to explore through the subplots and the relationships and all thing over the course of its stuff. I read a lot of scripts that skip right past that, and they just go right to the lock-in like 5 minutes in. And I think he's kind of circling around that too.
You just answered the second part.
Okay.
it's does the writer need to show the protagonist in its ordinary world at some point in order to show growth or change?
Okay,
yeah.
so there you go. So
yeah,
Jamie, do you have anything to add to that part of the question?
No, I almost think that's in some ways the more important part about the ordinary world is the flaw, setting up the character arc, So as long as they're in this new world and they're showing their flaw to arc, then you're usually okay. I went through a phase, and so this is a good example. Like when I sold Altered, Altered was a movie. I went through a phase. I was like, I wonder if you can just start with the catalyst, and like literally page 1 is the catalyst. And I started to do that, and I did it with a few scripts, and it was a good trick. It got me attention because it hooked you right away. You're like, this thing takes off. But what I found as those scripts went through development was there was a payoff you had to make where in the debate section, like on page 20, you were suddenly sort of forcing in stuff you should be doing on page 1 to 10.
Yeah.
And it was at a time when people, if you grab people by the throat and then you like slow it way down, sometimes that can be really hard to execute because they have a lot of patience in the first 10 pages. Because we're used to watching movies where people eat breakfast and stuff like that, right? And then the alarm rings.
Oh,
It comes up later.
So we're used to watching that's just something we're used to. We have patience for that in the first 10 minutes. We're like, okay, I'll give you 10 minutes to get this thing started. But sometimes when you kick in from page 1 and go full throttle for the first 10 pages, if then you say, I'm going to take 10 pages to slow this baby down, sometimes they're not invested in the characters enough to like go with you. And they're like, oh, I was kind of enjoying the wild ride, but I'm not sure about this stuff they're trying to do.
I'm not sure about the actual story.
Yeah.
It's like a roller coaster that turned into a classroom.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, well, okay.
Well, it makes me think of, I wonder how, we definitely should do this at some point. I wonder how this tracks with something like 10 Cloverfield Lane, where she basically, we see like a couple text messages that imply some things that need fixing, but really don't give you anything. And then there's just a crash. And then she wakes up and she's imprisoned. And like the things that need fixing are all about the concept and the premise, the lock.
Same with
right? Misery. Yeah. So, it's probably situational.
I feel like like Jamie almost answered the next part. Like you guys just by your natural course of answering this, you're just going ahead of what Adam was asking. Can this type of opening work in any Save the Cat story pattern genre, or is it specific to one or two? You pretty much, I feel like you just answered that sort of.
What do you got, Jamie? That's the genre pattern expert.
Let me read what he has after it because it goes with that.
Okay, gotcha.
It seems like perhaps there was a draft of The Wild Robot that included a beginning sequence with the robot being made or existing in its ordinary world and then being shipped out only for a tsunami to capsize the boat. Hence, the robot finds itself in the wrong place. Perhaps that intro was tossed in favor of starting the movie in media res. The robot awakens, it's container wrecked, it's in a foreign world. Just wondering, I'm sure that the success of this technique lies in the execution, but there are pitfalls to avoid. If the robot's being manufactured, it's not experiencing anything. Right?
So its before world is just not existing.
It's not existing, so it doesn't matter. Maybe that was the conversation they had. It just, if this thing isn't alive, then we don't have to show it.
Yeah.
It literally is born on the island.
Yeah. Right. That's its first experience.
That's its first experiential thing for the character.
Yeah,
so
that's interesting.
that's why that works. It's like,
but it is an interesting example.
It is.
It is unique and unconventional for sure. So I'll just reiterate. I think the pitfalls are like Jamie just said. If you gotta like cram in catch up things that need fixing like 25 minutes in, it's like feels. It's a note I give commonly is late breaking news. Like it's news we should know already. And if we had known, we would have more emotional investment in the character. Like is my answer.
It's a good answer. Jamie, do you have anything else, or I'm gonna keep moving?
Keep moving.
Okay. Next is from Ross Cooper. I'm working on my first Monster in the House project, and I have a question about the old or normal world and new world. My female lead is a Marine, and something major happens that changes her life substantially. This introduces a new normal, a life reborn after unexpected trauma as a veteran. The majority of the story takes place after a few years of the new normal, and at the end, another new normal is introduced. My question is, would it be better to start in the new normal and dip back to the first normal world of her Marine life, or start in her Marine life and move forward chronologically? All the best. Love the podcast every day at work. Thanks for all the screenwriting help. You're welcome. I'm saying you're welcome, not him. Yeah. It'd be pretty awesome if he said you're welcome.
This is one I have to reread. So Jimmy,
it's the wording is yeah.
So sorry, Ross. We're trying to keep up. A life reborn after unexpected trauma as a veteran. So that's one right? That's an upside down world, right? The majority of the story takes place after a few years of the upside down world trauma, basically.
Oh, yeah,
And
So
yeah,
the trauma. So the trauma's the normal.
is the new normal.
Is that new normal?
Yeah.
Right. It's the
And
normal,
then
right.
at the
which is
end of
common. Which is
at the end,
common.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
absolutely common.
totally.
Yeah.
It and we talked about how there was drafts of Avatar like this where we met him like getting recruited to be the guy after he was injured. You know what I mean? So the unexpected trauma life, the new normal, it said the story takes place after a few years of that. And at the end, another new normal is introduced. So we have a second upside down world.
Yeah.
My question is, would it be better to start in the new normal and dip back to the first normal world of her marine life, or start in her marine life and move forward
It's
chronologically?
almost the flashback question again.
Yes, which
I-
is yeah.
Yeah, and I would almost say, without knowing your story, obviously knowing your story is important, but for a monster in the house story, for a horror movie, this seems like a classic setup. So I'd point to Midsommar, I'd point to The Descent, I'd point to I don't know what other movies.
It's like horror before the
Disturbia.
horror is the
It's
the
yeah.
trauma.
So
Yeah.
a lot of these movies that I just pointed out, they start with the shard of glass opening scare. That's what they start with. So usually those movies start with a horror beat that shows how that first trauma got instilled. Then it jumps to the new normal with the trauma. That's the ordinary world.
Mhm.
And then the catalyst introduces the upside down world. It begins to introduce it. So I can almost say 90% of the time, that's probably going to be the way you structure this kind of story, if I'm reading it right.
Yeah. No, after you like use those examples, it made me think of Megan.
Megan's another one. Yep.
Which
Megan.
is not a soldier, but it's the little girl and
Mithrigan.
her parents are Mithrigan. Yes. In Mithrigan, the story starts with the trauma of the girl's parents getting in a car accident that has nothing to do with the robot.
It's
Right.
funny how many movies start their opening scare is a car accident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of car
Shazam,
accidents.
right? Didn't Shazam start with
But
a car
anyway,
accident?
Shazam, isn't that the Mandela effect?
So is your
Shazam.
answer is your answer to, I'm trying to keep us focused, is your answer to Ross that would it be better to start in the new normal and dip back to the, I think it's chronologically, right? Is what you're saying.
My suggestion is actually to start, you might do an opening scare that is the trauma, like the car crash, right?
Yes.
And then you set up the ordinary world of the person with trauma. And then the catalyst is the first taste of what the upside down world's going to be. That's what I would suggest.
Co-signed.
Right. Yeah. And you know what? The movie I always use to teach this, even though it's not a monster in the house and not horror, is Finding Nemo. That has a great kind of opening scare, shard of glass teaser that sets up the trauma.
Yeah.
And then so if you don't remember Finding Nemo, what is it? All the eggs are eaten, and all the babies are killed, and only Nemo remains, and even the mother dies. So the father has this trauma he's lived with of being overprotective. So when we join him years later, when Nemo's going to school for the first day, that's the ordinary world. It's him with that trauma. And then the upside down world starts when Nemo gets lost, basically, when Nemo is swept away by the scuba diver. So then the upside down world begins, which is the quest that Marlin, the father, must go on. And that's probably a similar structure for your story, probably.
Nice. Good. Okay. From @TK_Sheffield on Twitter. Good morning. Thanks for doing this. Question: what's the best screenplay formatting guide that you recommend? I've seen so much variety, No more than 3 lines of action, no parentheses, no internalized thoughts. A definitive guide would be helpful.
All right, I got some good ones.
Good.
I got 3. I own 8. With my giant screenwriting book collection, but I got 3, and it was perfect time to talk about someone in the screenwriting world that passed away recently, which is I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but Dave Trottier. Jamie, have you heard of Dave before?
Absolutely. I didn't know he passed away.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I got it wrong, but I'm almost positive I saw a bunch of people posting about his death.
Okay.
So anyway, he had my go-to, he wrote my go-to screenwriting books on format, and he had a great blog called Dr. Format Tells All.
Mm-hmm.
And then what they did was they collected that blog into a book. So the first book of his is The Screenwriter's Bible, which was written in the early 90s, and Dave was a teacher. And the one I have is the 6th edition, expanded and updated. So that's the one I'd suggest looking for. And there's about 30 pages of the book that are called Proper Formatting Technique, a Style Guide. And even though the advice is old, and screenplay format is ever evolving, I really think at some point PDFs will have like songs that autoplay when you scroll across the page, and they're going to be really weird in the long run. So format is always tough to talk about because it's ever changing. But Dave's book, The Screenwriter's Bible, and then his follow-up book that collects all his blogs, which basically the blogs were listener questions. They were reader questions about format situations. And then he would answer them and give answers of how to cleanly do what the writer was trying to do that couldn't figure out how to properly format. So Dr. Format Tells All 4th edition by Dave Trottier is like the most modern version of his advice. And then there's another one that is about 25 years old. It's from 1999. So it's 27 years old. Holy shit. And this is by a guy named Denny Martin Flynn, who had read like 10,000 screenplays. And even though a lot of the advice is old and it's very snooty, I think everything in this book tracks. And it is called How Not to Write a Screenplay. 101 Common Mistakes Most Screenwriters Make by Denny Martin Flynn. And it is awesome. It's snooty, but it's great advice. So those are my 3. Highly recommend.
Cool. Jamie, did you have any recommends? I mean, I would literally ask this question to Jimmy myself. So just whatever Jimmy said.
My biggest thing is don't worry about it so much. You can literally learn screenwriting format in 10 minutes from a free
probably from
KDP
a YouTube
file.
video.
Yeah, from a YouTube video. The thing about it is, don't worry about it so much, but as you go, keep looking at like a current spec screenplay and like check it against yours. Because I think people read the book and then they go and they forget about the book somehow and they get lost. And the only times you really even need a book are for the weirder stuff, like text messages. Like and the truth of the matter is, with text messages, like I hate the format they tell you to do, which is like dialogue. They put it in dialogue and put text. It doesn't make sense to me. I think that's the worst way to do it. The truth is, you get to make that stuff up as you go. You can make up your own format when you get to things like text messaging and stuff. And as long as you're thoughtful and consistent, it'll be fine. It's people that kind of wing it, that sort of, or they think there's a right answer and they kind of try to figure it out, and it's kind of messy and they're not confident. But you can almost get away with anything in screenwriting if it 80% looks like a screenplay and you're 100% confident when you write it. Like, just kind of take when you're doing it, 80% is good enough, but then you're the expert. You're telling them what a screenplay should look like, and whatever you do is right at that point. So I honestly think you could go find something free out there right now. And I didn't look it up on Amazon. I bet you there's
Dave's blog that I just talked about is free. So
yeah.
So Dr. Format Tells All is it goes through a million different situations.
There used to be a really good video I shared with my students, but I can't find it. It was Final
John
Draft.
August has a lot of them.
Yeah,
online,
Final
on his
Draft.
YouTube.
Final Draft had one that was really good. It was like an hour-long video, and I thought Dr. Format was in it. Like
He
I thought
might
it
have
was,
been.
yeah. But I'm looking it up now and I can't find it.
It's funny.
So-
I'm about to reference a Final Draft video for the next question.
Oh,
for not the next question, but for a couple questions down.
Here it is. It's called Script Format: All You Need to Know with Dr. Format, and it's from 2020, and it's an hour-long video. And I remember it was really good, and I share it with my students. My recommendation though is, number one, sure, get a book. Number two, watch the video, and number three, open up a good spec screenplay. Again, you hear me saying spec screenplay because you don't want to look at like Raiders of the Lost
Shooting Draft,
or 2001: A Space Odyssey or Chinatown or something. It'll guide you down the wrong path. Do not look at that. Find a spec screenplay online.
Like for instance, Sinners has a bunch of shot selection, and that's because Ryan Coogler wrote it.
Yeah, look, even if it's just from somebody that hasn't, like, is a professional but hasn't sold but is really good, just go find something out there.
You can usually well, the Script Hive, look up the Script Hive. They always have the new blacklist, the ones that were on the main final list of the year, and that's a good place to start because every year is like 10 scripts with 10 completely different voices doing format in unique ways, but it's also praised and loved, so yeah, Script Hive.
Yep.
And is that good?
One other place. The blacklist every year, usually you can find those scripts somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Yeah, Script Hive has them every year.
Yeah, usually it's somewhere. Usually, it's weird though. Sometimes they come and go, but I guess Script Hive keeps them around.
Yeah, they have a backlog of like the last 10 years of them.
Yeah, I was trying to find a link to one, but I can't find anything. So yeah, go check out Script Hive. I've never even heard of it.
Okay, from @burn207, aka Bernard O'Toole on Twitter. This kind of seems like a comment that was in a
But it was on the Twitter thread where Jamie was asking for listener questions.
Okay. Well, you could always dip back into the eternal we see debate. It'd be interesting to know where the three of you stand on it. I don't mind if used sparingly.
Okay.
He's
I got a quick,
opinion.
easy thing to say. There's two versions of this we see thing. Okay. The reason
define it for people that might not understand what he's talking about.
Jamie, you want to do this? I like making you do the terms.
Yeah, we see is it's a common screenwriting debate because a lot of, especially new screenwriters, when they first start out, they'll write, interior castle day. We see three hobbits enter the front door. And the question is, some people will say, we see as amateur, never, ever, ever do it. Instead, just write three hobbits walk through the drawbridge or something like that. Why say we see three hobbits walk down?
Why is this a debate?
Oh, it's there's reasons.
Oh, okay.
I got my own little. I'll do this a short version of the rant of the rant about this.
Okay.
So like the big, like Denny Martin Flynn's How Not to Write a Screenplay would say.
Jimmy's holding it up, by the way, in the frame. Yeah,
it would say, you don't need to say it, as Jamie said, and you're doing two things. You're wasting words, and you're taking the reader out of the screenplay every time you see it. You're reminding them that this is the argument against it. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this is what the argument against it, Bob, is. Okay.
Right. No, I get it.
So you have a lot of snooty format. So this is what's interesting.
I said, why is it a debate? Because I was just like, yeah, it's not. Don't put it there.
Well, why it matters is this. To Jamie's earlier point about talking about getting the notes. So you are at the mercy of whatever the taste of the reader is.
Right.
That is standing in the way of your next sale, right? Or option or whatever, right? And like I've said in the past, I optioned a script once on Inktip. And Inktip is a site. I haven't had success on it in a very long time, but if you're not familiar with it, Inktip is a site where you can host your script, and a bunch of producers have like, they sign up for like producer access, and they can read your script and they can option your script and so on and so forth. And I've optioned a few screenplays on Inktip, and I believe that Jamie's whole career was launched on Inktip, right? With Altered.
Yep.
Okay.
That's right.
So you optioned it to Ed on Inktip?
It was through one of their Friday, I don't know, producer tips. They're free. I didn't pay any money. It was just they still do to this day. They send out an email, and it basically says like, producer looking for horror or sci-fi, or something like that. Budget under 2 million or whatever they say.
And I've actually gotten a writing assignment off of that, like a paid writing assignment, because they read my script and to them it was a sample, right? So that being said, the one option I got, the guy contacted me, and I'm gonna like toot my own horn here. He was like, I've read every horror script on this website, and he wasn't the producer. He was the producer's reader. He's like, this is my job. Like, I am the reader for this producer. And I've read every horror script on this site, and this is my favorite one on there right now. He's like, but the producer I'm reading for hates ellipses, the ... He's like, can you give me a PDF of this with no ellipses? Because if you keep your ellipses in there, he's not going to want to do the project. So this is the point of the we see, because it's not about like, if someone is giving me the script, right? I highlight them as something you should proceed with caution. And it's not about my taste. I don't fucking care. It's about, you want to bulletproof your script for that guy who's like looking for the we sees, and he sees them and he's like, you know what? Fuck this project, in the trash. Doesn't matter. I call it the stain on the shirt at the interview. These things. To that reader, the we see is the stain. And it doesn't matter how good you are in the interview. All he's going to remember is the stain. He's just staring at the stain. And there are readers out there who like they're like mini gatekeepers, right? And they care about these things for whatever reason. So you have to be mindful of that. So if you can write the sentence without we see, why not do it, to not risk some asshole being like, I'm not reading this script, it has we sees in it, and where it really comes from is, I've gotten scripts sent to me that for notes, and it's literally we see every line, Bob.
That's usually what happens.
You haven't experienced this.
No, I don't read a lot of amateur scripts, so
we see a car driving down the street. We see a house. We see this, and it's just like, no, you could just write. Also, it kind of says, like, did you read it a second time?
And so that person, that producer who didn't like the ellipsis, like the we see version of that is like, people just get so tired of getting script after script where it's 100 pages where every sentence says that.
We see.
I had a producer send me a note on a script recently, and it was about mores and continueds. And I don't know if
at the bottom.
Well, these were the character ones. So the continued that I've learned back in 2000 or 1999 when I first started screenwriting. Basically, they said turn those off, and I had never understood why Final Draft left them on by default in the first place. And somebody actually sent me notes like, "Oh, these should be continueds."
Oh, no shit! The opposite.
But honestly, I wanted to kind of big league them and say, I've been teaching screenwriting for 20 years, and I wanted to kind of educate them. I just chose to ignore the note because continueds, if you know what they are, they serve no function whatsoever. Like, I don't know they don't give any information out whatsoever. It's just like, it shows that a character's talking, and then an action line appears, and then the character resumes talking. But that's what you would assume if you saw the dialogue.
You
It's
would
not-
assume, and there
Right.
isn't an actor on the planet who has ever not understood that they're continuing to speak.
Yeah, I don't. Well, what would it even mean if you didn't put that? I
So
can't even understand what that would mean. But this particular producer was like, "Oh, you have to have a continued there," and I'm like, "Wow, I've never. That's a new one."
So
That's a new
Jamie,
one.
to back you up, I went to a seminar in the 90s in LA, and
Mhm.
it was done by, I can't even remember the guy's name. He was like the creative director at New Line at that point. And he
Okay.
had a packet. And this is what I give to people when they tell me that's a bad note. And this is where I learned it. And I saw it again in the 90s, like you.
Mhm.
And this packet was given to me by like the creative director at New Line. So I'm like 20 years old, like,
Right.
okay,
Mhm.
you know?
Sure.
And it says, using the word continue when a person's speech is continued after action has transpired is no longer done.
Right.
It literally
Right.
is underlined, is no longer done.
Mhm. Yeah.
And that's
Although
old,
it
that's
is
really
still,
old. So
although it is still utilized in some very limited situations. But Final Draft, all the screenwriting software, they have that baked in as your page settings, and all you have
Mhm.
to do is go in and say. But like Bob's, again, since you don't read scripts a lot, like you don't see this. Some scripts, it'll be just continued the entire page. It takes up like you're reading as a reader.
right, because it's a space,
Jimmy
continued
says,
space,
you
right?
don't need to do this anymore. Jimmy continued, because they haven't been doing it since the 90s. Jimmy continued, although you will see it in scripts that just won Oscars in 2026 because Final Draft has it in the page settings
By default.
automatically in there, right? So anyway, it's like you want to create the cleanest experience for the reader, and that's just one more way to do it, right? If you're taking out 10 extra words every page times 100, that's 1,000 continues that you just eliminated from the reader's brain that they can then focus on the story. So the same thing goes with We See. My argument against We See is if you have one We See on 100 pages, on every one of those pages, that is 200 words. So why not get rid of 200 words if you can write the sentence without doing that? So anyway, it is a hot button issue.
Sounds like less is more.
And complicated.
Be simple, clean, and less.
The reason it's a hot button issue too, to bring this full circle, is because somebody will go on and say, I hear We See is bad, right? And then pro screenwriters usually come on and say, there are no rules. You can write We
I
See.
use it all the time.
I use it all the time. I use We See all the time. And yes, that's true. You can
Well, good.
use
I mean,
it.
good for you, man.
I'm going to start using I See because it's about me.
That's
Right.
going to come into play in a minute in one of the questions.
And
that's the foreshadowing.
Well, let's keep going because we got a lot.
I'll give one, but the one place where even I use We See, there's one place. Sometimes for clarity, remember my number one priority is clarity. I might say, we see Michael Myers in the background, but the hero
That's
does not.
different though.
But
That's
the hero
different.
does not.
If you ask me why I use We See, it's not because I don't know. It sounded good.
You have meaningful reasons.
I have a reason for it. And I think any rule you break, if you have a good intention for it and you can articulate it, go break the rule. If you're just doing it because it came out of your brain when you were typing really fast, then you might question it. That's my big thing with these things.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Great
make
question.
I'm gonna make a movie called We See.
We See.
All right, from Felon McKenzie at Twitter. Less a question and more of an opinion. Writing styles. Obviously, there isn't a right way. It's subjective and depends on the screenplay. But on one end, you have a more prosaic style, and on the other end, a more terse style. It's not okay.
Yeah, well, he's speaking to circling around some.
Is he responding to something you posted?
No, this was the Jamie's call out for listener questions on Twitter. This is one of them. He's talking about style and whether
more white space or more.
He's talking about the Great White Space Debate,
Yes.
which Bob again.
Right. Yeah.
Bob
I have
doesn't
nothing to
experience
say.
this, but like,
Don't worry
there's
about me. Just
No, there's a large part of there's a large part of the screenwriting brain trust that thinks that like just like no purple prose, no poetic, no fat. You want that, you go be a novelist, you know what I mean? And then there's but I guess I just don't understand the word prosaic, because in my mind prosaic is like as basic as possible, which is also what terse is, so they kind of mean the same thing to me. Sorry.
I think they mean prose heavy. Lots of prose, like novel writing.
Prose heavy. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I got a quote, and then Jamie, go for it. I got a quote. My favorite quote on this. There's a video out there for anyone who's interested. Another Final Draft plug. Final Draft YouTube. It's a recent interview, and the title of the YouTube video is called Writer-Director James Mangold's Essential Screenwriting Advice. And in it, I'll just give the beginning, the sum it up. Write like you're sitting next to a blind person at the movie theater and you're describing a movie. And if you take too long to describe what's happening, you fall behind because the movie is still going while you're trying to describe the leaf with So anyway, he has 5 minutes where he just talks about that and how, like, if it's not important to the movie, then the detail doesn't need to be described. And he sums up screenwriting style very well in that video, and I think he's right. Like, less is more. Yeah, that's my opinion.
And the only thing I'll say is more people get in trouble with the heavy prose than the terse. So if you're new, maybe try a terse screenplay. Try to be minimal.
Yeah. What I like to do is, in my own career, is I save the poetry for the big moments. So like, if all of that terseness and minimal words, it buys me page space to romance moments that need poetry, right? Moments where I need to be eloquent and say more than just what's happening, and editorialize and get into the characters' heads in a way that's filmable, and if you do that on every moment, you're going to have a 150-page script for a 90-page movie. But if you write with, the white space in mind, you can still squeeze in a good 4 or 5 sentence blurb where it's really important. So
yeah,
that's what I like to do.
As somebody who reads a lot of scripts, and Jimmy's one of these people too, I've read scripts that have lots of words that are good. I've read scripts that have lots of words that are bad. I've read terse scripts that are bad, and I've read terse scripts that are good. So I don't think there's any one way to pull that off.
I'll just add one professional example. Like, if you read David, I don't know how to pronounce David. Is it David Kep? Like, one of our most prolific screenwriters of all time.
Jurassic Park.
If it really also depends.
I think it's pronounced Koepi.
Koepi. David Kep. I'm gonna say Coep wrote Jurassic Park.
I'm pretty sure it's
Koepi.
Wrote the script for Jurassic Park. Wrote the script for Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. So many. If you read, it really depends on the premise, right? And the voice needed for the premise even changes within the same writer. Like, I'm going to write a script that's a comedy very differently than I'm going to write a script that's horror. And it's still going to be me, and it's still going to have my voice, but I'm going to use a different quote unquote style. And so if you read David Kep's Panic Room, and then, which is like, almost like minute per minute, like almost real time. And then you read Jurassic Park, same voice, but that script is going to read very different, right? Because like Jurassic Park's going to need these very big paragraphs of what the hell you're looking at. Whereas Panic Room, it's like, there's a dude with dreads and it's Jared Leto.
According to the internet, it's Cope.
Cope. Okay. Sorry. So I said it wrong.
But I could be wrong too. Who knows?
Okay. Moving on.
Game on. Since you guys, this is from Jerome from the Silver Screen Happy Hour podcast. Good
Hell
guy.
yeah.
Since you guys were talking on the Saturday night episode that Shane Black revolutionized his style of writing, and you mentioned Oppenheimer and its first person writing, do you see writing in the first person as a trend that will start becoming common? Or if not that, do you see a trend in today's Hollywood screenwriting that breaks from the traditional norms? Thanks, guys. As always, a regular listener. Thank you, Jerome.
I definitely don't see it as a trend. It had its usefulness in that script. I think probably on that episode, I probably mentioned that I've read found footage scripts that were in first person, and it kind of made sense for those because they were first person. But I don't think it makes sense. It's kind of like the we see thing. I can't justify doing it in most cases. It doesn't make sense. So I don't think it'll be a trend.
And do you think, is anybody doing anything new that you find interesting, Jamie?
I wouldn't be surprised. I'll go on a weird thing here. I see more and more people throwing away their interior exteriors.
Ooh.
I hear people doing that. I've been tempted. I do it at times. Like I do the
I do it within
mini
a
slugs.
location.
Yeah, mini slugs. But I've heard more and more people saying they're going to do that. Like the Coen brothers, I think, are notorious for doing that, or maybe they don't even use scene headers or something. But I've heard more and more people just bold scene headers, but not do interior exterior.
Wow.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like if there was going to be a trend, I could see that working, because there's
save it for the producer.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what a headache.
Because there's part of me though that when most things are filmed on a stage in front of a volume or something, or they're, God forbid, AI, what's the difference between interior and exterior?
Do you know how annoying it would be as a producer to sit down and grab a script, and the first thing you have to do is just go through the script and add INTEXT to every scene heading?
Yep.
I'd be like, you asshole.
I think that's part of the reason we see it, is because most of these are spec scripts, and in spec scripts, that part doesn't matter.
That person's not thinking like a producer usually.
Yeah. So of all the formatting things, I think I've heard enough people say they're doing that it wouldn't shock me if that was a trend that a lot of people start to do.
Cool. Okay, from God, Craftly's Con on Twitter. Most scripts don't fail at the idea; they fail in execution. What's the biggest mistake you see writers make between a strong concept and a weak final script?
The biggest is tough. I'll say one of the most common things I used to see with strong concepts is people not having confidence in their strong concept and sort of punting it halfway through, or they're having to do other things. That used to be a common thing I'd see, where somebody came up with a really good concept, but they sort of, just when it was getting interesting, they went in a completely different direction or something.
Like Hollywood does that often. Right?
I didn't really think about
the electric state could be an awesome concept, right? But I'm not
like
joking.
The log line of Electric State, you're saying, is not what the movie is, basically.
It could be cool though, right?
The version I see, and honestly, I don't see as many high concept scripts as I saw when I was coming up. When I was coming up, high concept, like concept as king was the thing. Like if you could come up with a great concept, they'd buy it on concept alone. And I'd see people do something like, let's say they did Jurassic Park, and they'd get to like page 40, and they'd kill all the dinosaurs. No more dinosaurs on page 40. Like it's kind of like the Simpsons thing you talked about, where they flew back home and there's no more dinosaurs for the rest of the script or something. It was just like
hilarious.
Like what is going on here? Or they're doing like Fast and the Furious, and then it turns into like they're on a beach, stranded on a beach for the next 50 pages. They like gave up the cars or something like that. I used to see that all the time, and I don't know exactly why I saw that, but it was a very common thing I used to see.
Did,
Um,
did you guys
yeah,
did you guys see Jurassic World Dominion?
I didn't.
I
So
did
if
not.
you know, that's the only Jurassic Park movie I actually hate, because it's basically doing what Jamie's saying. Finally, we got the dinosaurs out in the real world. That's the pitch, right? Finally, after all this time, this whole franchise, they're out in the real world, and like half the movie is about fucking bugs. For some fucking reason, the movie's
That's
about bugs.
fantastic.
Yeah, they just give up. It's just like, okay, bugs.
Well, so I have a lot to say about this, but I want to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So, he's circling around Jamie here without saying it. He's circling around the logline issue, which is, and so like whenever I'm sent a script, what I ask for is give me the log line. And the only reason that I do that, and I often ask for the synopsis too, is because a lot of times the problem, it's not that the log line is a bad log line, it's that you read the log line, and then what I do is I prove to them that like Jamie said, it's either punting the premise or the premise hasn't even been established. So it's like, this is the experience you think your script is, and then you go down the beats of the story. If you want to look at it from like a Save the Cat, which I don't break it down by a Save the Cat, but that's a way you could do it if you're a listener, and really look at the beats of the story and say like, are my beats describing the experience promised in this log line? Because the log line is like a compass for what your story should be. And if it's not, a lot of times people think they're doing one thing and they're doing another. And so that's what I see commonly, is this lack of awareness. That so when someone says, like when his question says they most scripts don't fail at the idea, they fail in the execution, they don't understand that they're failing in the execution, and that's the whole problem. You have to point out like this threat described in the log line, like, you know what I mean, in Raiders it would be the Nazis. I'd read the script and there's like no Nazis, they're like off screen, right? So I'd be like, well,
they're
you're
not that
describing
bad. They're
yeah,
like,
and like
yeah.
they'll be like the super weapon will be described in the Indiana Jones thing, the Ark of the Covenant, and I'll be like, well, the Ark of the Covenant is off screen, like in the script I'll read, and I'll be like, so you're not really experiencing the Indiana Jones you're promising here. So, and then the other thing is I take the log line, and a lot of times the why here, why now that we talk about in the story, in the script, in the show, why does this story have to happen here? Why does this story have to happen now at this time in the story world clock? A lot of times in the log line, that's not missing. And so the concept might be cool, but missing the clock, the deadline, and the why and the location, why here, kills the concept, right? So yeah.
Cool. All right. From Fringe Blog, aka Jeremiah Lewis on Twitter. At what point do you realize a draft just isn't working, and that no amount of tinkering will fix it because it's not a writing problem, it's a concept problem?
Oh, Jeremiah is a friend and also an awesome writer, by the way.
Sweet. So almost a reverse question.
Well, I want to bounce off. He's got another question that follows this, that sort of builds off this, but building off of what I just said, I'm curious to hear what Jamie has to say about this, and even about his own career. So I have a lot of scripts like this, and they're all where like I had to kill them, and they're all the scripts I wrote when I first started. So like the first 6. So like before I really started to understand how to do this right, screenwriting, I would just go and I would think I understood structure, and I would think I understood character, and I would think I would understood setups and payoffs, and I thought I understood all these things. I'm reading the books, and I just didn't know how to execute it because I was learning. And so I was just like pantsing, and I wasn't doing outlining, and I was just like getting in the flow and writing. And then I'd come up with this 100-page script, and I didn't know it, but it was a fucking mess. And then as I started to get better, and I'm on like script number 6, I'm trying to retroactively like fix the story, and like I can't even write a log line for the script because it's so poorly conceived. And yeah, I think if you can't retroactively create hero, goal, stakes, obstacles, urgency, then that's the type of movie you want it to be, right? Like you can always consolidate characters, you can do this, you can do that, but if you can't get it down to hero, goal, obstacles, stakes, story, DNA, recipe, and that's the type of movie you want to make, like an arc plot Hollywood cheeseburger, then yeah, it might be time to shelve it. That's my to kill it. That's my 2 cents. And I did kill like my first 5 scripts as a result of that. They're fucking dead.
My answer is almost identical, but I'd spin it a little different. So I never have this problem anymore. I always finish what I start. It's very, I can't even think the last time I didn't finish. Yeah. So,
but it took me years to get there.
It took me like at least 3 or 4 scripts before I got to that point. Whereas, and those first 3 or 4 scripts, I did the most rewriting of. It's just like those are the ones I rewrote. And
same.
I probably should have killed them, but I kept rewriting them. So that said, one of the biggest problems, I've told this kind of story before too, or related this, 9 times out of 10, when people hire me as a screenwriting consultant, they really could have just asked for my 100% honest opinion on their concept and story DNA, because most people cannot answer the story DNA question. And I just had a consult with somebody who had been writing a script for like 20 years or something. They've literally been writing a script for 20 years. And it was a story DNA question. It was kind of a good nugget of a concept, but they didn't have hero, goal, obstacle, stakes. That's the story DNA. They had a hero, but they didn't really have a goal. It was kind of this loose thing that was going on, a situation of some sort, but they didn't have a true goal that you could measure. There were no real stakes at the end. And 90%, maybe not 90, maybe 70% of scripts that come to me, if you just really killed yourself to do hero, goal, obstacle, stakes, and didn't let yourself off the hook to get started before you figured that out, which is essentially the log line. If you figure out the log line, but focus on hero, goal, obstacle, stakes. This is the weird thing is I find the hero, goal, obstacle, stakes more important than the log line. Like log line, people get caught up on the words and like make it a little joke or something. But what you need for the log line is the hero, goal, obstacle, stakes. And you need a photo finish. It has to be something more internal, more than to feel better about themselves or something as a goal. And the problem is most people deceive themselves and think, oh, I'm just doing something that, you're doing those crass commercial movies that nobody likes or that should be abolished, that I want to do something deeper and more meaningful. And they're doing like kind of a mini plot thing. But usually it's not because that's their intent. It's because they can't figure out the other thing. And they get kind of trapped in the cycle of going back and forth between figuring out. And because they keep rewriting the thing that's not working. And if they just figure out hero, goal, obstacle, stakes up front and be really strict with themselves, usually they won't run into this problem.
Hero, goal, obstacle, stakes, setups and payoffs. You're good.
Yep.
I mean, really, that's that's all you need.
But I thought I understood setups and payoffs, and I didn't see. So
even back then,
not how to execute them. No.
Okay.
It was the 90s, dude.
Oh yeah. This is that long ago. I thought you were talking about like when we met.
No, I'm talking about like 1999.
Oh fuck. Okay.
7 years ago.
I already read.
This is also Jeremiah.
This is all. Yeah, I was making sure I'm not rereading the same question. From Fringe Blog, Jeremiah. When do you decide to shelve a project for good because it's just not going to happen no matter what you do? Is he asking
like a career question? Yeah.
I think it goes to shelve a project. I mean, for me, it's usually when nobody wants to read it, and it just goes back on the back end of my hard drive. That's when it happens to me. But I think to most people, um, the question is, when did they figure out that they have the problem we talked about in the last question? Like when's it time to move on? I've always said this. I'm a firm believer in more projects and not constant rewriting. So unless you have like pure gold that you have the greatest concept and you have to do it right away, you just have to get it done. Unless you're there, I actually think you should. I would. I always say I'd rather see somebody do 3 projects in a year than, or maybe 2 years, than 1 project for 3 years. Because
which I've done.
Yeah, the reason
I'm still working on this script.
The reason
3 years later.
but the reason I believe that is because usually they fail at the hero goal obstacle stakes. So I'm hoping they luck into one with 3 as opposed to latch on to the same thing and just get in the cycle of I can fix it, I can make it better, it can work this time. I see so many people get into a rut where they're working on the same thing for 3 years, 20 years, whatever. And I just feel like you should make goals for yourself to have at least 2 projects or 3 projects.
That's good.
And not just 1 project.
It almost just feels like a life question. You know what I mean?
It's a fascinating one if you know Jeremiah for me, because next to Jamie, he is the most prolific screenwriter I know. I've read 16 of Jeremiah's scripts, so I'm fascinated by this one, and they're excellent. So, yeah. So he's got a lot of coals on the fire, typically, like you, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm definitely a quantity over quality person in some ways.
Okay, from another one from TK Sheffield on Twitter. Hi again. Also, can you recommend a guide to writing log lines or provide a formula using the flawed MC as a starting point?
I mean, we could pull string Jamie. This is one of your.
Yeah.
I feel like we've answered this on the show.
Yeah, and I'll do it really quick because we've been talking about it. So the first step 1 is figure out your story DNA. So in the upside down world of your story. So it's because sometimes when I say this, people get confused. So hero, goal, obstacle, stakes is what we're talking about. So you need to define each one. So for Raiders of the Lost Ark, the upside down world, this is where people sometimes I see story DNA. They go, Indiana Jones, his goal is to be a good teacher. The obstacle, I don't know, and it's that's the ordinary world goal. This is for your story, for your pitch. So it's Indiana Jones. He's searching for the Lost Ark. The obstacles are the Nazis and the mystery, and the stakes are if the Nazis get it, they'll use it to end the world. Figure that out first. Hero, goal, obstacle, stakes. Mix in after a catalyst. Your catalyst is whatever is that first random event that pulls them in. So in this case, after being visited by the FBI, an archaeologist, and I know you're saying flawed MC. He's not really that flawed. But an archaeologist is the next point. Don't do the name. Do some adjective character pairing that has tensity, if you could, which means there's some tension in it. So, Beverly Hills cop, is a Detroit cop in Beverly Hills. There's some tension in there. There's some kind of thing that you do. Find the tension within the pairing, and that's usually where the flaw is going to be. It's like if you say like an alcoholic cop or something like that, that's usually some tension in there. But otherwise, you just lay out the hero, goal, obstacle, stakes with the catalyst, put an adjective around the main character, and you have a log line. And if you go Google that, you can find that formula in other places. I mean, that's not necessarily specific here. My books have that formula all over the place. So if you look up my books, you could probably find it. You can find it in any one of my books. I think it's in every one of my books. The workbook would probably be the best place to start.
Now available on Amazon.com.
Now available. Yes.
Now for purchase. Okay. Jimmy, you good?
Yep.
Okay. From Horror Master 01, aka Stephen Kohler on Twitter. Best way to query? Obviously, don't enter the scam festivals. Laurels don't mean anything to executives. That's like you telling Gordon Ramsay your grandma loves your risotto. I got told to take the word leporine out of my log line because they wouldn't know the meaning. Do you guys know the meaning of leporine? I actually do.
What is it?
It's to look like a hare rabbit, I think. I
Oh.
think.
Okay.
What if I'm wrong? Oh shit.
Yeah, honestly, that's
Hold on.
probably that part probably isn't bad advice because I didn't know.
No,
what
that's
that
probably
word
good
meant.
advice.
Yeah,
It is. I was
Um,
right. And that's
yeah.
what leporine means. It means to look like a hare.
Do you have
resemble a
best
hare.
practices on queries though, Jamie? Quick ones. Do you have experience with queries, or do you
I
not,
do-
are you past that in your
I'm well
career?
past that, so a lot of my data goes back to the old days. But just super
The
quick.
old times.
Yeah, what I did, and honestly, my first script came from a query. You know, my first two sales came from queries. I built back in early 2000. I built a spammer to query Hollywood. Basically, I was a computer programmer, and I
love
sent out
this. We've
thousands of
heard this.
queries. Yeah, but no, I'm not going to. I won't bore you with that story. But queries were kind of my life. But here's my best advice right now. One, focus on two types of people: producers and managers. Okay, managers are your best choice. Producers are your other choice. The better the high concept, the easier the query. It's all about, like, can you send an email to somebody and somebody goes, damn, that's good. I wish I thought of that. And they're jealous. If you can come up with that and hit the right manager or producer on the right day, you can get a meeting. Okay. That said, you'll probably have to send out 100 queries to get 5 meetings. Okay. So make that your goal. Make your goal to get 100 rejections.
Oh,
That should be your goal. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but that's the bulk of it. Producers, managers,
and you can find these if you get an IMDb Pro subscription. Even just you can get it just monthly, and you can search the producers of the films that are making of the films that are comparable to yours in scale and in style and etc.
Keep it short. Basically, you just want the log line. That's basically, it's like, hi, here's my log line. I'd love to work with you, whatever. And that's it. That's all you want. And
I've optioned scripts off of queries, but it was a long time ago, so I don't feel like I have relevant information.
But here's the downside. Nobody wants to read your script at all. Nobody. And I mean that even with me. Like,
yeah,
I don't.
Bob and Jamie and I don't want to read each other's scripts.
I don't want to read. I don't even want to read anymore. Who cares?
I had a manager for a while. I would send them the script and they didn't want to read it. They just weren't interested. It's like people used to send me stuff and say, hey, could you send this to your agent? I'll be like, my agent doesn't want to read my script. I'm not sending them your script. There's no way. I'll tell you one other piece of advice, because I got this the other day. Every now and then people query me. Don't query a writer.
Dude, okay? I get them all the time.
Producers and managers. That's how you go. Skip the agents. Agents show up later.
Well, we have producers on our credits on IMDb, which is why people send us these things.
Yes.
Like, where'd you get my email address? Because it's not on IMDb.
And honestly, shoot your shot. Go for 100 rejections. If you want me to be one of them, I'll say no. But I'm going to say no. I promise.
They'll be like 99 to go.
99
Jimmy said no.
Yeah. Do you guys ever still get friends just in general asking you to read stuff?
Not anymore.
Yeah,
less. I don't even, be honest with you, I don't even want to do that. Like, even close friends, I'm like, I'm sure it's good, dude.
What is it? There's a meme. It's like, good friend will help you move. A great friend will help you move a body. Your best friend will read your script.
Part of the reason I started doing screenplay consulting was because of this. I was like, people would ask me, and I didn't really want to read it. And then they'd start saying, well, could I pay you for your time? And I'd be like, well, maybe. And they'd be like, how much? And then eventually I was just like, maybe it'll drive people like this away. You know, if I start doing consulting, and I kind of put up a consulting page for that reason, but it didn't drive people away. People started to hire me. And that's kind of how I became a screenplay consultant. And then I wrote books, and that didn't help either.
Yeah, then you're just inviting it now, Jamie.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let's keep moving, guys. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm
It's gonna be
pushing
5 hours long, Bob.
Yeah, just so it's not 5 hours long. Let's keep pushing. I want you guys to answer these questions.
My screen froze, I see. My screen
Yeah, it
froze.
did. Don't worry about it. We can hear you.
It looked like I'm about
Jamie's
to...
got in his classic, his mouth is wide open.
yeah.
He's just agape.
It's incredibly unflattering.
I look like one of the guys about to get their faces melted at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, you do. Okay. Another from Sean Quinn. I'm planning to start reading screenplays instead of books, essentially, for now. Do you have like a top 10 must-read screenplay list, or any suggestions for the approach other than reading movies I've loved?
Well, I'll reiterate what I said before, which is check out the Script Hive, and they have like hubs on there, and one of the hubs is like the Blood List, which is like the most popular. It's kind of like the Blacklist, but for horror. So if you're looking into horror, like they're like the most popular horror scripts of that year that didn't get made. And then they also have the Blacklist hubs, which is for like, you know, every year the 10 like most popular voted on scripts that didn't get made is out there, and they're all like a wide variety of voices, and they just they run the gamut on how to write a screenplay, and they're new, right? And so like I think that's a great place to start if you just like want to do like a wide study of like the current way people are writing. That's a good place to start. And the Script Hive is free now. So check that out, Sean, and anyone else out there. And then the second one is, we've talked about this in the past. My go-to script example is just like the script itself is Scream. Like it's like directing on the page without using camera angles. It's like so well written. It reads like a movie. It's a good place to start. The first Scream.
Mm-hmm. No, that's a good one.
Kevin Williamson.
That's
Scream 7.
That's a good one. Of the like big produced movies, 7 is a good one. Scream
Andrew
is a
Kevin
good one.
Walker. Yep.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of finding specs out there. So the Blacklist, the things like you said, the Blood List. I also would highly advise you to go find scripts with really strong, like fun, kind of creative voices. Brian Duffield writes scripts with very, like, he takes big, bold risks. I think it's useful to read that.
Ian Shore recently.
Ian Shore. Yeah. There's a guy I like out there. I think his name is Peter Bridges. He writes this one-line style that's always fun to read. There was another script called Mother by, I think it was Misha Green out there.
Yep, I've heard of that one. Yep.
Dig that one up, and you'll see a really weird style, but interesting and fun to read. So I'm a big fan. Seek out these kind of like people that take big swings with their voices. I think it's kind of I don't know. It'll shake something up. It'll kind of show you that you should be inventing something. You should be creative. You should have fun with it a little bit.
There's not one right way.
There's definitely not. And then maybe, I mean, if you read something like 7 or Scream, they're probably more classic.
Yeah, that's why I brought them up. Yep.
I'd read a bunch of bad movie scripts that I like, like bad movies I love, and I'll read those scripts. You good? Okay.
Yeah.
Next, from Tyler Burns. Hey,
this is
gang.
like a 3-parter.
Yeah, it's 3-parter. Hey, gang. Thanks for the show. I've been listening for a few months, and I've really enjoyed what I've heard so far, especially the Batman tone scale. A very simple idea that most people can grok easily. First question. Not sure if you've answered this in the past, but do you recommend first-time screenwriters write a treatment before writing a full script? I've written a novel in the past, unpublished, and am interested in trying my hand at writing a screenplay, but wasn't sure if there are advantages, disadvantages to writing a treatment first.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I'm the Save the Cat guy, so Save the Cat beat sheets and outline. You don't
Isn't
have
there
to
a
write.
workbook for that you can buy?
There's a workbook. There's a work-
Okay.
you don't have to write full treatments. You don't have to write them like prose and make them like read like some executive document. You don't have to do anything like that. Whatever you do, whatever pre-work you do is your own process. You can use pictures. You can write for yourself. You can write like a diary. You can skip around. But I'm a big fan of Save the Cat beat sheets. I think you should figure out your character arcs. I think you should have an idea of your themes, and I think you should have a general idea of your structure. There are great screenwriters that don't do that. There are bad screenwriters that don't do that. There are bad screenwriters that do it, that write an outline and treatment. They're good. So it's really your process. But personally, I think writing a first draft is just a really complicated and wordy way to write an outline. It's the same work in some ways as writing an outline. It's just you're doing it. You're taking 3 months to do it and 10,000 words when you can do it in 2 pages and 3 days. So that's my pitch to you.
Okay, number 2. I plan on writing a couple of specs, and if they're decent, put them on the blacklist for feedback. Is this still a good way to go? I don't know anyone in the film industry and do not live in California. Guess what? We don't either.
So the short answer is, yeah, go for it. It
why
can't
not?
hurt. What's important is to manage your expectations and manage your reaction to both the notes and the scores. So if you get a 3 on your script, and Jamie, is it all the way to 10 or is it 9?
Yeah, it's to 10, but most people only
Okay.
get like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
I don't think
8
many people get
is
10.
the coveted score that tends to get your script to a higher pile. And they send out, what is the newsletter they send out, Jamie? You've experienced these.
Yeah, I don't remember what it's called, but they put the top 10 in. And
they send out, like, is it monthly
5.
or weekly?
I think it might be weekly. They also tweet them out or something. They put them on social media as well.
So they send out a newsletter, and this goes to like everyone who's signed up, but also to like producers, and those producers and managers and agents take note of these. I've seen people who are agents, managers, and producers talking about this. So it definitely does still hold weight, but what's important is to understand that, like, if you get a 3, it doesn't mean your script definitively sucks. And if you get an 8, it also definitively doesn't mean your script is ready.
Yeah, I could say I've had a couple scripts that have had 8s on there over the years. I don't do it too often, but every now and then I end up on there. And it did 0 for me. It, like, nobody called me up, or I didn't get any deals, nothing like that.
Damn.
Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. I would also my thing with screenwriting and queries and all this stuff, none of these things are good strategies, but you have to have some strategy. There is no good strategy. There's literally no good strategy. So
nobody knows anything.
Yeah, you within your own budget, like what you want to spend, try whatever you possibly can. Send out 100 queries, post on the blacklist. Like Inktip is probably a horrible strategy. It's what sold my first produced script. Okay. But it's probably not a good strategy. Like, it's, I might be the one person that made 6 figures, the only person from Inktip. I don't know. Maybe there were others.
My option was free. So
I optioned.
Sorry, it was the dollar option.
I optioned another script there like years later for free off of them. But yeah, I don't know how many, like, I see there are Christmas movies and stuff like that get made. And I don't know what the budgets are, but I'm just saying none of these are great strategies. Like, none of these are surefire. None of these are even good, like, strategies. They're not like, but you got to do something. And that's the difference. You got to kind of try everything, but do it within your own budget. If you have no money, don't do it, but don't feel bad. Don't feel bad about it. You're probably not missing out. You're probably better off if you don't do it. But if you have money and you can just blow it on Blacklist, who knows? That might be your ticket. So I go for it whatever you can.
Cool. Section 3. Also, I'm assuming you have multiple ideas for scripts at the same time. Do you typically write more than one screenplay at a time? If so, do you have a cap on projects? Thanks again. Sincerely, Tyler Burns. I mean, I always have like two. I write
I was
two
gonna
shorts
ask,
at a
Bob,
time.
2 shorts at a time?
Yeah, that's usually how I usually go.
Is
But
that your cap?
I'm a weird guy. I don't know. That's why. I mean, yeah, you guys are. A lot of this stuff would be me not talking about industry answers. That's why I'm not saying much.
Gotcha.
I'd be talking about like, independent underground answers.
It's relevant though, because we do have people listening who make their own stuff,
Yeah, but I feel like I feel like it's a completely different conversation.
Yeah.
If I'm honest, I feel like a lot of it just is such a different because like half the stuff is about appeasing people with money or power. Which the underground discussion is not that.
That's a good point.
It's just that's good. Remove that completely, and then it's like it's a different discussion. So not that the concepts of writing don't matter too, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, like a lot, like script formatting. Go to any film festival that has underground in the title, and I guarantee the scripts for those movies did not have good formatting.
No, I've actually had people that like I met at those festivals that are like, "Can you show me how to do this?" Like,
I mean, I meet people whose no budget movies I love all the time, and they're like, "I wrote it out on legal pads."
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like
so for them, it's
like it's like filming Curb Your Enthusiasm or something. You know, it's like, and that's fine.
Apples and oranges.
That's still a movie. It's just that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
I personally usually am only writing one script at a time, but I can't not be like, I mean, I've got a pile here.
Yeah, I'm sure you have so much to read.
Ideas that I keep next to my desk, and that's for like 20 different scripts at a time. So yeah. Jamie, what do you got?
Yeah, I feel like if I don't have 10 irons in the fire at any given time, I'm dead. That's the way I feel. So what does that usually translate to? Usually there's 2 or 3 scripts that have deadlines and I need to go back and forth on. But I've over the years, I've settled into this kind of process where I'll like do a draft, park that one, do the draft to the next one, go back to the first one, clean it up and send it, go back to the next one, clean it, so it's not like I'm alternating in a given day between 2. It's very rare I do that. Every now and then somebody will say something like, "Can you send me this script with these notes?" And I'll kind of jump on it because I can finish the notes in a day or something. But yeah, so I'm usually juggling a bunch of things, but I tend to be better about like, okay, I'll give 4 days to this, stop. 4 days to that, stop. And then I usually do I'm a morning person, so I write in the morning, and then I do any other kind of screenwriting related work, including script consulting at night, is usually how it works. That's usually how my brain works. Yep.
Bob, I think we should skip section 6 because they're all long-winded. Okay.
Are you sure? Because section 6 is kind of like delightful.
Okay, then we can do the first one.
We don't have to respond to it. I'll just read it. It's like it's just delightful to hear. Hey guys, I wanted to reach out and let you know that I was just optioned for the first time in my career. The writing techniques and advice I have implemented from listening to your show, paired with seeing them in action on the screen, I believe played a big part in what led the production company to option my work. I have a long ways to go to get where I want to be professionally, but this was a big step for me, and I wanted to show my appreciation for what you do on your show. Writers Blockbusters not only has provided me with more skills, but also inspiration to stick to writing when I find myself questioning whether or not I'm good enough to do it. So again, big thanks to Jimmy, Bob, and Jamie for taking the time to entertain and educate. Looking forward to the next episode. Go Steelers.
Aaron James. That's why Jimmy wanted to skip.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to skip it.
Yeah, that's the only. I was like,
hold on. It's from Aaron James Such is that his name? Such.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Thank you.
That's-
That's just pleasant. That's just a nice thing to say.
Actually, his real name is Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, right. Big fan of the show, Aaron Rodgers.
No,
But seriously, Aaron, thank you. That's amazing.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah,
honestly.
I mean, there's nothing to say other than it's nice to know that us recording stuff into a mic worked for somebody. Yeah,
that's
nice.
kind of the whole point of this is to help people get things made. So
see, and that's the true lesson. All these questions about writing, the true lesson is start a podcast.
Yeah,
and then you'll actually get people that'll listen to it instead of not wanting to read what you wrote.
But congrats, Aaron.
Seriously, congrats,
yeah,
dude.
it's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. Next, this is who's this from?
This is why I want this. This was the one I was talking about. This it's like 4-parter, 2 emails. Don't worry
also
about
skip
it.
that one.
Yeah, and I think you can skip the one below it too because it's also very long.
Okay, so I'm gonna go right to
section 7. The business.
Oh, I'm skipping. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. For time, we're 2.5 hours in.
Okay. From @Nicene_hound on Twitter. With the deep disarticulation of the movie industry that we're seeing right now, what non-traditional and innovative paths do you think screenwriters, especially new ones, should look out for and exploit more? Social media content, AI, or a whole new format entirely? Not AI. That's my contribution. But also, like, are they asking like where does a writer in general go now?
I think so.
I mean, there's always going to be books. Books is never going to stop, right?
Yeah. Self-publishing has become a legitimate path for people to actually have a career. I mean, it's probably equally as hard as being a screenwriter, in its own way. But I think there's more of a path to it that's great than just post on Blacklist and hope you get lucky. I think there's sort of a path.
I don't know about you guys, but I've had a rash of former filmmaker friends publicly declaring they're no longer making movies and becoming authors.
Wow.
I've seen a few of them in the past few years be like, I've had enough of this and just go into writing books. Yeah. And that's probably a reaction to the industry and the world and everything, but at least, nobody can stop you from writing. You don't need anyone else to write.
Exactly.
The only format, and I don't know anything about this format, but it just seems to be bubbling up more and more, is the verticals.
I was gonna say it, so you beat me to it. That's yeah.
You mean like TikTok and stuff?
No, like Bob, like there's like investment from studios in the vertical format production,
like short form vertical format.
So
no, like they're writing full. Go ahead.
They're like soap operas for TikTok, but, or whatever. They're TV
God,
shows.
Take me now.
Yeah, it's kind of like what was that
Quibi.
company that Quibi?
Quibi
It's kind of like
ahead
Quibi.
of their time.
It's kind of like Quibi. Apparently, they're really popular in Asia. I've never watched one. I hear some people love them because there's a cringe factor to how bad they are. But I just hear more and more about these. I hear different genres coming on board. I think I saw one today that like somebody was doing a horror one that's about to get released. One day maybe I'll watch one, but as of right now, I haven't watched one. I just hear a lot about them.
I think if we keep doing the show, there's a chance we're going to be talking about one eventually. I know, Bob. I know, Bob.
Also, I think with this question is you got to ask yourself what your ultimate goal is.
Mm-hmm.
Is your goal to be famous? Is your goal to make a Hollywood movie? Was your goal just to write and live off of it? I think then that changes whatever the answer we'd say, right? Or is it just to write in general? Is your goal just to make things? And that's a whole different answer, right? If you want.
Yeah, but the one you said about making money, that's the one you need to be manage your expectations.
This person said industry, so I'm assuming money is in the equation. For
yeah.
From Nicene Hound. Okay. This is from Andrew Blight.
Yep.
Yeah. Hi, Jimmy, Jamie, and Bob. I love the show. I listen to you while door dashing. You guys are good company and always give me new ways to think about storytelling. Thank you. Number one, movie requests. Just putting us on the blast. Almost Famous. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this movie. This movie and coming of age movies in general, specifically how to keep audiences engaged when the stakes aren't life and death. But we have covered a lot of movies that aren't life and death stakes.
We did, and by the way, we did do Almost Famous. I already answered Andrew, but I put this on here for the listeners. We did cover Almost Famous on our one and only Oscars episode, where we just talked about various Oscar winning screenplays, and so that was, I think, season 1 or 2.
Okay.
So we talked about Almost Famous there, but yeah, what coming of age movies have we done? We did
10 Things I Hate About You.
Yeah.
I have to look at a list.
I mean,
the Holdovers counts.
Yeah, Holdovers definitely counts.
Perspective.
But we've done a lot of movies that are not life and death too. Stakes.
Yes,
like
that's
it's
true.
not. It hasn't been all that.
Yeah. But it's something to be mindful of going forward. To think about that. Yeah. To do more like that.
I'm looking at a list right now. Does Spider-Verse count? That's life or death though.
Life or death.
Yeah.
Bill and Ted. That's not. Yeah. That's not.
Good Boys. Our
Good
least
Boys, that counts.
That
our
counts.
Least popular. Episode.
Our least. Jamie's just trying to up the numbers on our least popular.
That's right.
Mighty Ducks could be.
Mighty Ducks is good. Coming of age.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man. Not really. Not.
Yeah.
We did 2. So anyway. Kung Fu Panda, that's coming of age. No.
Absolutely.
It is. It really feels like it.
Yeah.
Almost Famous is a good request. I'm not against doing that, but
we could do it in full.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't done Cameron Crowe. If not that, then maybe Jerry Maguire.
Yeah. Or Say Anything.
Say Anything. I mean, holy shit.
Yeah, right.
We got options with Cameron Crowe. That's
he's got a second part here. Second part is question. Could you call out some bad screenwriting advice that you hear repeated over and over and explain why you disagree with it? Thanks. You guys are the best. Andrew Blight.
All right.
The first thing that comes to my mind is don't direct on the page. That's the first one. I always think you should direct on the page. You shouldn't use director keywords like close up and pan to and tilt up, but you should dictate a picture, almost the edit, the images, the shots, just by how you're writing your prose. So, my example for this is something like Scream. There'll be a version of Scream where you said, interior, an upscale kitchen, night. I don't know what Drew Barrymore's name is in that. I can't remember. Talks on the phone as she makes Jiffy Pop popcorn or something like that. But instead, the way Scream does it is, interior, upscale, whatever, night. A phone rings. A hand picks it up. It lifts it to a face. We see Drew Barrymore, blah, 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 blah. And you could see.
We see.
Yeah. When I'm saying those things, though, it's planning an edit in your head, as opposed to just saying, here's a thing, somebody else directed. And you should be doing that. You should be writing it so that if somebody closed their eyes and imagined the movie you're creating, they can picture it in their brain.
Yep. I got one, and then we can keep moving. Which is, I think this is a misunderstood and overused advice. Write what you know. It scares people away from exploring topics that they don't know. And so what I say is know what you write.
Because nobody knows
anything.
Yeah, David Cope doesn't know dinosaurs. Okay.
Exactly. So what I mean is that if you're going to do a niche topic or whatever topic it is that you're writing about, you need to research it and become somewhat of an expert on it. And through that research, you're going to get ideas for people, places, things, scenarios, and dialogue that would only exist in this area that you didn't know about before. And that creates the authenticity that's missing because you don't know the subject. So writing what you know is good, but you don't have to only write what you know. you can learn to know what you write. So there you go.
And my answer for worst screenwriting advice is obviously go into screenwriting.
Bob just says, turn off this show. Give it up.
Learn how to paint. Do something else. Be happy with your life. Run. Okay.
Run from the screenwriting software.
Right. Okay, next up by Jack French. Hey guys, number one, it's a two-parter. As someone who writes horror, I found this podcast very helpful. I found that as I write chase scenes and set pieces in buildings, I need to keep track of the layout as I go, such as where the rooms connect to each other, where the doors and windows are, and basically build out the floor plan for these fictional places. I don't plan this at the start. It's just something I find I have to keep track of as I get further into the screenplay. Are there ways to write without this being a concern? I'm not writing about places I know, and I'm curious about how a screenplay gets retooled once the actual filming location is decided upon.
That second part.
Yeah.
This
is a really complex one, kind of, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I'll answer this kind of in both ways. On one hand, I don't write a map or anything. I usually am kind of picturing places I understand or know. I don't think you have to worry too much about it, but I think in your head it should logically make sense. And if that means drawing a map, or if that means writing for locations you know, which is honestly what I tend to do. I tend to use some version of some place I've been, and that's what I imagine in my head. Once you get into production, yes, they'll retool it. They'll do all kinds of things. They'll write for that space. They may do a rewrite. They may build a set based on what you wrote. I mean, anything could happen in that direction. Don't worry about that part. That part
exactly.
worry about later. Yeah,
that's what I would say to bounce off of that part of it, Jamie.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've talked about mapping scenes. There is like a screenwriting technique, which is like the mapping scene. We talked about it with John McTiernan does it a lot, and we talked about it in the Die Hard episode. So check that out, Jack, if you haven't. And the second thing I would say is, to Jamie's point, for instance, in my own movie, in Call Girl of Cthulhu, we had the Church of Starry Wisdom, which was like the cult's headquarters. And there's like 5 different set pieces within that cult headquarters. And they're supposed to take place one room next to another, next to another, and next to another. Well, we shot in like 5 different locations to make it feel like that sprawling warehouse, like 5 completely different places that when you edit together, it looks like one warehouse. And that is very common in movies. I mean, to the point that like you'll even have a bar scene, and the one scene is taking place at the bar, and then the next scene is taking place in the bar bathroom, and that bathroom's in a completely different location, or it just might be a set, like Jamie said. So I wouldn't get too intimidated by like, how are we gonna find a location that has all these things in it? You know what I mean? Because it's very easy to cheat that in the edit and just shoot those individually.
Also, Jack, I'd say, what is like the most famous horror movie of all time? The Shining, right?
Yeah.
Which notoriously has geography that makes literally no sense.
Yes.
Like,
and they have those great scenes though where we're tracking
through, but it doesn't. The geography of the hotel does not make any real world sense.
Right.
Some people say it's intentional, some people don't. But I'm just saying, has anyone ever been like, that's why this movie's bad? No. You know what I mean?
No one's questioning the layout of the hotel, basically.
Well, they are, but in a fun, analytical
way.
You know?
I gotcha.
Okay, second part of Jack's question, or it's the second question. Also, what are your guys' favorite movie titles? The movie itself for Good Will Hunting is good, but man, they must have been pleased when they came up with that one. Fucking shit on Good Will Hunting's title. I mean, obviously, my favorite movie title is "Don't Be a Menace While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood." Don't be a menace to society while drinking your juice in the hood. That's an interesting question. What's your favorite movie titles?
I do like the ones that are like the concept and like Jurassic Park and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Cool. But I'll tell you the ones that Three of them come from Spielberg because he was doing something that I thought was cool when I was a kid. He would take these words that were meaningless to me as a kid, like I'd never heard these terms, and he made them popular, like Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I'd be like,
Yeah.
what is that? E.T. the Extraterrestrial, Poltergeist. I never heard any of these words when I was a kid. Like, and then now they're in the, they're in the zeitgeist or whatever. I love that, but and I've tried to do that though. I don't know that it's a good strategy because people just are like, I don't know what this word is, and they move on. What's leporine? What is that?
Leporine that looked
leporine.
like
I had a script called that, and nobody understood it, so they just passed. No, but I like that. I personally like that. My tastes run toward that. I think that's cool.
My answer would be, I mean, it's already kind of, more or less my favorite movie. And if anyone, people listening to this don't know me, these guys know, I wore a RoboCop hat for like 15 years straight. I don't anymore. I have a hat with RoboCop on it now though. But anyway, RoboCop, I might say, is my favorite title because, like Jamie said, it's sort of what the movie is, but it's also multiple functions, as in it sounds completely stupid. But it's about a movie that is a masterpiece. It's like a work of genius.
God, and I can't wait till we do that someday.
The fact that we haven't done RoboCop is pretty funny. But and I also generally like titles that either funny or feel like they hit really hard.
Yeah.
Dual meaning and just, or funny, or just like big, strong, like MacGruber, just like something like, I don't know, just singular words like that usually are my favorite. It's a weird question.
One of my favorite titles is Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
That's good.
Throw Mama from the Train.
Snakes on a Plane.
Snakes on a Plane.
I also thought, Jamie, you were going to go with just like Spielberg, like Raiders of the Lost Ark being like those like a old serial type titles.
Yes.
Big stuff. I feel like we got a lot of those in the 2000s, with Lord of the Rings, and
yes,
and every title seemed to be just getting longer and longer. Yeah.
Yes.
And that was a throwback, but then it became not that anymore.
Became a joke. Yes.
I'll tell you one thing though. What I hate is when they make reboots and they name it the same thing as like
with the date. They just put the date or something.
What's funny is I said the Don't Be a Menace joke, but the new Scary Movie being called just ScaryMovie, like the first one, I'm okay with only that movie doing that.
Because
that's the joke of that movie. Because I hate the fact that there's two movies called Scream. I hate it. That's why when I was
talking about, yes, me too.
There's no reason for that to happen.
And Halloween 2018.
Right. There should not be 3 movies titled Halloween. But Scary Movie doing it, amazing. That's an amazing joke.
Yeah.
Not many people probably are appreciating. Okay, let's move on. This is from Ingrid Class. Dear Jamie, Bob, and Jimmy, longtime listener, and I'm not even a white dude in my 30s or 40s. You said it, not me. I'm a white lady in my 50s and a writer, young adult mostly, and I get a ton of your analysis of movies and Save the Cat Beats. I was in a workshop of yours a couple years back, Jamie. I go back to my notes on that all the time. I'm halfway through writing a sci-fi comedy thriller. Awesome. I grew up in Washington, D.C., but live in Madison, Wisconsin. Question: could you please talk about twists? What are some of your favorite movie plot twists of all time? What makes a great twist? Where should twists come in the beats? Rather, how should a series of twists be sequenced or for maximum effect? When should a B-story twist come in? Or an internal versus external goal, etc.? That's a lot of questions.
I love it, though.
Let me just finish out this because it's one more sentence. With the understanding there are no hard and fast rules, what do you think are the best twist practices? Thanks for the awesome podcast, Ingrid Class.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of questions.
Well, I will first. I'll say my favorite one, and we've found a way not to talk about Kevin Spacey on this podcast, But
Have we ever
The
done? We've
Usual
never done a Kevin
Suspects,
Spacey movie.
we did American Beauty in that Oscars episode.
Oh right. Yeah.
Just one little blurb about it,
Well.
about Lester Burnham. The Usual Suspects is like my favorite twist of all time, and it's so funny because on the best practices, I like twists that the audience, if you give them just enough, they should be able to figure out themselves. And I don't think that Usual Suspects is that. Like I who's figuring that out? So
Right.
I'm like contradicting myself there. I'm sorry we're not going to answer all of these questions you have, Ingrid.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
It would almost take a whole podcast to do it.
Yeah, they're so good though.
I'm trying to think of what twists, like Usual Suspects is good. Fight Club.
Obviously Shyamalan.
Obviously, I'm skipping over his just because.
Yeah, it's just too obvious. Yeah.
I mean, Psycho and Empire Strikes Back
Yeah.
were the first two I probably experienced.
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
they introduced plot twists to me. So they're definitely up there with my favorite. Recently, we've had things like Barbarian, or something, which
Yep.
is almost a structural twist. It's like, this isn't even the movie you're watching. You know what I mean? It's like you're watching a different movie now.
And then Dusk Till Dawn is a genre twist.
It's a genre twist. You know what? I really like The Others. That was I think that's kind of a underrated movie in some ways. Trying to think of what other ones I like.
The Others is an excellent example, Jamie.
Yeah,
because it turns the whole movie on its head.
Yeah. I was a big fan of The Prestige, the book, The Prestige. I don't remember the movie as well, which is kind of funny, but I remember I liked it when I saw it. I saw it once. Yeah, but
all right, guys. Yeah. I think we can answer at least what makes a great twist for you.
Well, I just want to say one thing is a good movie is a good movie. My favorite movies are not normally twist movies.
Right.
Because I'm more of a rewatcher and stuff, and I find that those movies they're not ones I revisit much. Like Shyamalan, to me, I'm a fan. I don't revisit his work much.
Because of that, you're saying?
Yeah, because there's like if I rewatch Sixth Sense, there's so much effort that I'm noticing put into hiding something where I'm less interested in the movie, because it's like there's so much effort, very masterful effort into hiding what the twist is going to be. You know what I mean? And I'm just kind of like, well, I don't really want to.
I mean, it's kind of the point of the exercise with his movies,
right?
Basically. Yeah.
So
there's nothing wrong with that. I'm saying I'm less attracted to it.
My big thing with the twist is, enjoyment isn't retroactive.
And emotion isn't retroactive.
Emotion isn't retroactive. Yep. So the movie has to work without the twist. And especially conceptually, like you need a log line that's great without the twist. So that's the big, thing you have to strive for.
That's a great note, because it's like, if the twist is intended to make you feel all of these things, and the movie hasn't already made you feel a bunch of things before it, then yeah.
I know one that just popped into my head too that I didn't mention. The movie Vanilla Sky was based off of Open Your Eyes.
Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
Abre los ojos.
Yeah.
Yes, excellent.
That was a big one for me for a while there. I like Vanilla Sky too, but I already knew, I already saw that, so it was less impactful.
Isn't that sort of the argument with Vanilla Sky a lot of people had, where it was just kind of nonsense until the twist? They didn't feel
what is happening.
Yeah, they didn't feel anything
in disorientation.
Right, they didn't feel anything until the twist made sense, and it's like this can only work on like a second viewing.
And to Jamie's point, emotion isn't retroactive. That's describing that very complaint that you have.
Right.
So it's a
I like it. I actually like the movie.
Me too. Both versions.
Yeah.
Jamie, 2 questions on this, because I think we can sort of workshop some answers here before we move on, because I think this is a good topic. We don't really talk about twists much, and I think we're answering why, because the three of us don't like gravitate toward these things, so, and also modern movies aren't doing them as much.
Like people that gravitate towards twists are like, I don't know. It seems like that's like the kind of people that would go on a cruise ship.
Oh, really? Hey, maybe Ingrid likes cruises.
Ingrid, if you like cruises, I'm sorry. It's just it's just like feels like it's throwaway a lot of the time for me.
Gotcha. You think it's like forced?
No, it's just I don't know. It's just not stuff that has like a shelf life that I guess
I
that's
see.
for me.
Well, Jamie, on the beats question. So she said, where should twists come in the beats? Like, rather, how should a series of twists be sequenced for maximum effect? What do you got there? Is this something you deal with when you're helping people workshop beats?
Yeah. So this is, I'll tell you what my favorite, like when I'm writing a story, I like the twist to happen at the midpoint. I like the game-changing twist. But there's still time for the game. Like that's what I like. I like something that changes the game. But that's me. So this isn't really true because I don't think it happens at the midpoint. But almost like the Matrix, how it switches worlds or something like that. It's like, the Matrix isn't real. Like that's the kind of twist I like to write. These twists usually happen. The funny thing is, you'd think they'd happen in the All Is Lost. They don't. And I think that's instructive because I think that shows you that the movie has to stand on its own legs almost all the way through. They usually happen, if you're a Save the Cat person, in the finale at the Hightower surprise. That's usually where it happens. So the Sixth Sense type thing, the Fight Club type thing, they tend to happen more in the finale toward that section, toward the back section.
That's good. That's helpful.
Same with Usual Suspects, for that matter. Yeah.
Jamie, you also have one. It's been so long since it's come up, but you have a great strategy in your scene construction with always having a twist, right?
Wow, I don't remember. Do I?
I've heard you say, and then like there's
Dorsey.
In your basic scene structure, how you plot out a scene itself, an individual beat. That and then there's a twist at the end of the scene. I've heard you say that. Am I misquoting you?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I.
Do you just do this intuitively so much you don't even remember your own strategy?
I think we've had this podcast so long I forgot my own strategies. They cycle back though. They cycle back. I don't remember. I don't remember.
But anyway, hopefully we answered some of this for you, Ingrid.
You could probably make a whole episode on that series of questions.
We probably need to do a movie with a twist. And,
that's true.
We need to do it.
And Sixth Sense has come up a couple times, and it was on our list, and then we had to cancel for some reason.
Yeah.
Sixth Sense or like Fight Club or something.
Yep.
More
Fincher is fine with me.
When we do the twist movie, Ingrid, we're going to be thinking of you.
We'll bring this back up.
This back up.
One sleepless night, I sat around thinking we really need to do Empire Strikes Back one day. It's not like because we've done Star Wars.
We should.
Movies. I feel like one day we should do Empire Strikes Back.
May 4th, man.
I mean, I would say we should do all three of the original movies.
I'm down.
I mean, what are we doing if not all three original Star Wars? It's called Blockbusters in the title.
Yeah.
Like we should be doing the three granddaddy movies. Okay. This is another one from Aaron Such. Just for fun, I'd love to hear you all, Jamie in particular, because I know it annoys him, list your top 3 good breakfast scenes and top 3 bad breakfast scenes that have been in mainstream movies. I wish we had this prior to this. Okay. That's awesome.
I don't think I could name the bad ones because the bad ones are just kind of mediocre.
I wouldn't remember them.
They're just forgettable. Yeah, they're just like they come and they go.
Good. Right now, off the top of my head, good number one of them would be Uncle Buck again.
Yes.
When the kids wake up for the first time.
The pancake.
Yeah, well, that's two. There's two breakfast scenes.
Two breakfast scenes.
There's the gross breakfast scene, and then there's the pancake.
But the intro of the character, it was sweet. Yeah.
Man,
but the good ones I could think of Barbie. We talked about that one.
Barbie
was kind of a wake up.
Oh, very good. Yeah.
And then Breaking Bad are the two.
Yeah, to quote an old episode, Cobra Kai has a fantastic Johnny breakfast scene. He takes the old food out of the fridge. And,
there's also End of Days has a good scene with Arnold waking up drunk, and then he puts all that crap in the blender.
Yeah,
he drinks it. I wish we had it in advance, but I'm not blaming you, Jimmy. But yeah, I guess that's off the top of my head. There's probably like a million I'll think of when we're done recording.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, normally I just hate breakfast. I think I hate them more than Jamie, if I'm honest.
It's funny. The first one I noticed that I used to talk about, and it's because the movie feels kind of patched together because I think a reshoots was World War Z has one.
Oh yeah.
And it literally is just like him making pancakes or something, Brad Pitt and his family. It just needs to be there.
As for bad ones, we did the movie Godzilla King of the Monsters. You remember the really banal should not be there scene of them eating breakfast?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we talked about breakfast scenes in that episode.
I think we did in that episode, yeah.
Because it just is so banal in that movie for them to be just eating breakfast normally. Okay, thank you, Aaron. Hey guys, this is from Brody. Hey guys, I know there's not a ton that be considered blockbusters, but my question is, what's your go-to martial arts movie? Always enjoy the show. Keep up the great work, Brody. Thank you, Brody. So I assume he means like blockbuster martial art movies,
or just martial arts movies. Yeah, so many.
I feel like it's a hack answer for my age group, but Bloodsport is kind of one of the greatest things that ever happened.
Dude.
Like there's movies and then there's Bloodsport. You know.
I listen to the Bloodsport score all the time.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, Karate Kid 1 and 2 right away. They're kind of one movie for me, and we're gonna do one at some point. Three Ninjas, man.
God, the 90s kid in you is just like exploding out. I mean, I'll tell you this, I'm a huge fan of anything with Jet Li. Just his career
Unleashed.
in general.
Oh shit.
Unleashed is awesome. Kiss the Dragon, Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if these are the category of movies you're looking for, but you know.
I have a really weird one for this, but it's a movie that made a huge impact on me and my friends, and we saw it like 1,000 times. It's The Last Dragon.
Yeah.
We saw it like so many times. Yeah. It was like, I mean, it's kind of a spoof on martial arts movies in some ways, but that was the movie we quoted.
Movie rules.
Yeah. I love that movie.
Show enough.
You
know,
Thanks,
enough.
Brody.
I'll ask this. Yeah. Does Blade 1 and 2 count as martial arts movies?
I mean, it's action. It's a genre with martial
if they
arts.
Count,
if we're going there, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, yeah. The Raid rules, obviously.
Oh, the Raid is, man, yes.
Yeah. It's such a big category of stuff.
And the Raid too.
Anything. I mean, Jackie Chan, peak Jackie Chan of all types.
Bruce Lee,
of course. Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to imagine, but when Steven Seagal first came on the scene with Above the Law,
it was like a big deal.
Yeah.
It was like, whoa, what is this? It kind of blew us away. We were like amazed at what was happening on screen.
It's weird to remember that Steven Seagal was like,
he was cool.
Like,
he was cool. For a very short period of time. He was cool.
He's actually quite a horrible human being. Like, don't Google him. But Out for Justice is an awesome movie.
Yeah.
Like it really is. Does that count as martial arts though?
I think so.
You think it, because he is a martial artist?
Yeah, I mean that was the genre. It's like action, like crime martial arts hybrid.
If I had an infinite amount of time, I would research and write the Steven Seagal biopic because I think it would be the most amazing movie of all time.
Once again, Jamie, I really think you should research him before you go.
Do that. No, that's why I think.
Yeah, but it's some bad stuff in there, man.
Biopic. I mean, that's what's kind of weird about him is he's just like he's
an insane
train wreck in 10 different directions.
Yeah. I hope we answered that question somewhat sufficiently. We said a lot of stuff. But my go-to is
Brody.
You can't go wrong with Jet Li is my kind of ultimate opinion, but also Bloodsport, you know. Okay, from Jay Salvato.
We're in our last section, by the way.
Yeah, we're almost done. I hope you and the crew are doing well. Thank you for asking us to contribute. Number 1, what's your top 5 baseball movies and why? we're taking the NY off of there, Jay. I'm sorry. I'll
go.
Go ahead.
I'll go, and that'll give you guys time to think.
I mean, I was gonna say stuff we already did.
Yeah,
'Cause they are.
A League of Their Own.
Sandlot,
Sandlot.
Bad News Bears is my favorite.
Bad News
Bears.
I'm a Moneyball fan myself.
Oh my gosh,
Moneyball's
we
good.
haven't done
I
Moneyball
love
yet.
Little Big League. I love Angels in the
Yes.
Outfield. I mean,
Angels in the Outfield.
kid of the '90s, you know.
God, there's so
What's the Sam
many
Raimi
good
one for the love of the
ones.
game? Is I like
Game.
I don't like that one. I don't know.
Well,
of all the Sam Raimi stuff, maybe I think I was waiting for like weird camera angles and stuff, and I didn't get it.
no, it's a very authentic.
What's the one with Keanu Reeves? It's really good.
Oh yeah. Hardball.
Hardball.
Yep, Hardball. The
Hardball.
Dennis Quaid one, The Rookie. Love that movie. About the guy who's coaching Little League, and he's a player that never made it in the big leagues, and then his arm gets so strong.
Did we say Major League yet?
We didn't do Major League.
Oh shit!
I like Major League too.
Yeah, I like Major League too, but Major League might be my No, Sandlot's probably number one, but Major League might be number 2 for me.
I like The Natural. I like Bull Durham. For me, that's probably the ones. They're probably number one. Bad News Bears.
Field of Dreams, dude.
Field of Dreams, yeah.
God.
Yeah.
There's so many good ones. Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, did I not say
Those
that?
tendons have healed a little tightly. I don't know. I missed it.
Rookie of the Year, Little Big League, and Angels in the Outfield are the trilogy of those type of movies for me. You know?
The Untouchables.
Yeah.
The baseball bat scene.
The casino, then that counts. Right.
I mean,
yeah.
The batting cage scene and When Harry Met Sally for doing that.
Bench warmers with
yes.
Isn't that that's like a comedy, right?
I was such a big fan of the Major League franchise that I saw the Scott Bakula one in the theaters day one.
Back to the Minors?
Part 3, Back to the Minors.
Yeah.
I was there day one, baby.
Yeah.
I was the only one.
You know what I'm a huge fan of? The Scott Bakula rip-off movie of Major League, which is the football movie Unnecessary Roughness.
Yes, dude.
Seriously, almost the exact same script. If you watch them back to back, they just made it football. Love that movie. Still.
It's been so long since I've seen that. I gotta revisit it.
It's great. Okay, number 2. Even more important, during The Sandlot, Dennis Leary's character checks his watch while playing catch. It's immediately followed by him throwing the ball dead center to small space. It ends the catch immediately. So, did he do it on purpose or was it accidentally? Didn't we talk about this?
I thought we did.
I think that the throw was an accident, in my opinion. But
it'd be kind of funny if it was on
purpose. The only reason I don't think it was on purpose is there's no part of Leary's performance that tells me that.
Right.
And he could do it so well.
He could land that so well.
He could land it being a dick so well, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Jamie, did you have anything to add for that?
The first time I saw that movie was before we did it, and I probably had.
Oh, that's right.
I probably had a comment then, but I don't remember.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. How many montages are too many? 2. I don't know. I was just.
How many are in Rocky?
Legally Blonde has 5, and they're awesome.
Rocky 4 has 4.
It's like the entire movie's montage.
Yes, it's a montage, and it's obviously the greatest movie ever made. So
there you go.
There you go.
It depends on your execution.
I don't think there's any rule. I mean, 1 can be too many depending on how how it's done.
The screenwriting rule is if you get Frank Stallone to write the music, you can do as many montages as you want.
Hell yeah.
Number 4, give me your favorite MacGruber style scenes in your favorite movies. Oh, is it like putting shit together?
No, it's like, the MacGyver move. The not so secret weapon is a version of the MacGyver moves
right.
to make it faster for you, Bob. The move to get out of the situation that only your character could do in this movie. Well, the number one that comes to mind that we've done so many on the show, get out scene when he's imprisoned and he tears the cotton out of the chair and puts it in his ears to prevent himself from being brainwashed works on so many levels
Right.
that it's one of my favorite MacGyver moves. So that one I can put in there. And it's the first episode we ever did.
Right. That's true. It is.
So, yeah.
My
So,
favorite
I'll
would
put
be
that one.
Mystery Men with Kel Mitchell's Invisible Boy. He's
Oh,
the only.
shit. That's
He's the only. His one power is the only way he could have turned off the lasers. If does anyone know what I'm talking about? I have no idea. Mystery Men. It's a classic. Jamie, you got it?
I'm going to go with a literal one, and only because when I heard this question, it was the first thing that popped into my head, and it's true, is Apollo 13. They actually do a MacGyver move to save themselves.
Yeah, they do. Should have just said MacGruber.
You know, all the scenes in MacGruber.
All the scenes in MacGruber. Side note, number 5. Side note: what if you guys picked one of your own movies to break down the pod? No.
No. Sorry, Jay.
Yeah, that's not happening. Probably.
No, I refuse to get negative.
Dude, all the screenwriting. I refuse to go negative. Is that what you said?
That's right.
Dude, breaking down the screenwriting techniques in Two Front Teeth would be so fun.
Yeah.
I didn't know Save the Cat then, so it would be interesting to see how it played out.
Oh, the premise delivery is through the roof, though.
All three. We could do one episode. All three of us have made shorts. Just do
That's
3
true.
shorts. I'm kidding. I don't want to do that.
I know. I don't want to do this.
It's truly a bad idea. But okay. Lastly, I wanted to mention how fun it was to listen to the Rock episode and the Demolition Man episode, especially where there was especially where there was so much more craft in them than you thought there would be. It was a bonus I never knew I was getting. You guys are great. I'm learning a ton. You guys definitely make me watch movies in a different way, and I thank you for it. I'm laying out and gathering my scenes for my first screenplay right now. Thanks for everything, Jay Salvato. Keep going, Jay.
Dude, that's awesome.
That's
Jay.
awesome. Okay. Why
don't we analyze Jay's movie when he gets it done?
Yeah, Jay. We'll go negative. We're going to go negative.
We'll go negative. No, we'll go positive.
No.
Yeah,
I know Jay's doing a baseball movie, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, really?
No.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. All right. This is the last one, multi-part question from Katie.
Our friend Katie.
Our friend Katie. We know her. Boy, howdy, do I love thinking up questions. Here's some potentials for
700 questions for the gang.
I love it, Katie. Bring them all.
Let's go. Number 1, when you go to the movies, what's your preferred seat and how close are you to the first row? I sit now. Now this is just because I like staying away from people and the comfort and room. I sit in the handicap row usually these days.
Yeah.
And you know, they're usually not sold out. And it's comfortable. And last I saw The Drama a week ago, and a screaming match broke out in the theater, but I was far enough away where I could still hear the movie because I was in that row.
I don't know how I knew that about you, but I did know that. Yeah.
What?
That's where he sit.
Yeah, that's where I sit. Yeah.
I knew that there was a screaming match because it was me.
Yeah, it was Jamie. Jamie got into a screaming fight.
I was screaming at Jimmy.
I have 2 answers for this. One is generally I sit right in the middle. Like I like to sit in the middle and in the middle height wise. For the show, when we're doing this, I have to sit at the very back because I'm on my phone the entire time taking notes. And I don't want to be the asshole. So I literally find the furthest seat from any human being that's in the theater.
Jamie,
I'm literally...
Or Jimmy, you just have to go to Alamo Draft House. Use your phone now.
It's encouraged.
We live in hell.
Dude, that's sad. That's Sony's fault, not Alamo. Alamo is Sony.
It's still terrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I always sit on the aisle because I don't like the pee decision. I like and if there are a lot of people blocking me in, I'll have the pee. And I always get like a large Diet Coke, so I usually have it like toward the middle of the movie, toward the midpoint. By the way, The Dark Night of the Soul is the best time to do a pee. That's a Save the Cat thing.
Okay.
So as soon as the All Is Lost hits, run to the bathroom, and you can get back in time for the break into 3. and then see the finale, because you kind of know what's going to happen in the Dark Knight of the Soul. It's the most
That's
predictable part
so
of the
good,
movie.
dude.
Yeah. So that's a peace strategy for you from Blake Snyder.
Number 2, if you had to be transported into the future, what sci-fi movie would you choose to live in?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm just gonna say it's Star Trek. Pick a Star Trek movie.
Mm.
Why? There's like literally a perfect society, universal healthcare, unlimited resources, harmony, peace, and all that stuff. As long as you're not like usually in space, you're doing pretty good.
Yeah, usually these dystopias that we experience, they're all bad. Like
Except
the
Star
Gattaca
Trek.
world sucks. The Ender's Game world sucks. They all suck.
They all suck. Yeah, that's why Star Trek is unique.
That's a good answer. Yeah.
But you don't got. I mean, if you take Star Trek out of the equation,
Yeah, I don't know. That's
Yeah,
a tough one.
They're all like dystopian.
they're all bad.
They all-
Yeah,
I
is there
think
any positive stuff? Oh, Back to the Future.
But the Back to the
Kinda,
Future
but that's-
future is
isn't that
like
dystopian?
now.
Yeah, but it is
Isn't that one-
positive.
It is.
The Back to the Future 2
Future is
future
positive.
awesome.
It's
Yes.
positive. It's
I
a
would
positive
love
future.
a giant 3D Jaws coming at my face
You
when
can
I
rehydrate
walk.
food, clothes that
Yes.
automatically fit you, hoverboards.
Yes. That's a great answer. Hoverboards alone makes me want to live in
Right.
that one. So there you go, Katie.
Jamie, did you have a specific answer?
I'm trying. Back to the Future 2 came to mind. I was trying to think of something like that's subtle, like Her or something like that.
Oh,
Or,
yeah.
I could, but even that's not great. It's because everybody's
could-
disconnected and stuff.
Assuming you could say 2001
2001
on
isn't bad. 2001
on Earth,
isn't
not
bad.
in
Yeah.
space, but on Earth.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, The Fifth Element came into mind. I don't know why.
It seems okay.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem horrible.
It's dystopian if you like fall into the
yeah,
cloud thing.
yeah. It doesn't seem like the worst place. It seems
They don't
kinda
have
like
places
now.
to walk outside though. They're like in
your-
buildings
your,
constantly.
Your house is a small room that you can't move your arms and legs in, but
Maybe
Yeah.
Idiocracy could be fun. I don't know.
You could be the smartest man alive.
Yeah, exactly.
that would be.
Yeah.
It might not be. It did seem like a horrible place in some ways.
It's got electrolytes.
That's right.
You could live on the ship in Wall-E if you're
Yeah.
just like decided to I want every need taken care of.
That's not a bad. That's not bad. I'd take it.
Yeah. Okay. That was okay. Number 3. Which movie comes closest to a religious experience for you?
Whoa.
I'll say this, Katie. This is not a joke, and I said this on our episode. When the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie came on cable when I was a kid, it's the only time in my life I've ever fell to my knees in awe. Like it was in my house on my screen, and I fell to my knees like the light of heaven was shining upon me.
Yeah.
That was as a kid, though. I think you're probably asking as an adult.
I think for me, it's next. A little tease. Shawshank does that for me. It's
Mhm.
very spiritual for me. Still, it was when I saw it as a teenager. It still is now. So the Shawshank Redemption, I'll say.
I'm going to go a different direction with this question because, I don't know that any movie has like a spiritual connection. Like I don't watch 2001 and weep or something like that. But there's something about when I see Star Wars trailers, when they make Star Wars trailers, that and the big ones like Force Awakens, for example, the music can almost make me emotional when the John Williams music kicks in. Like they always work for me.
The Force theme?
So something about like when I saw Force Awakens, I probably did cry. When I saw Phantom Menace trailer, I probably did cry. There's something about going back to my 6-year-old self that it is like wired in my DNA or something that when I see certain Star Wars, no, when I see a stupid Mandalorian thing, I don't care. But
No, I
like
don't either. Yeah.
Force Awakens, when Han Solo came in and said, "Chewie, we're home," and they played the music, it just went like right through me to my soul. And same with Phantom Menace. And they're the only movies that really, maybe Superman's theme can do that to me to an extent too.
Really, just John Williams' music is doing
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
but it really goes to it goes to when I was like 5 or 6 years old and fell in love with movies, both of those. And it, before I could even understand what I was experiencing, and it's stuck with me, all these years later. So that's the closest thing I'll say to religious experience.
it isn't a weird question because what does it mean? Does it just mean crying or like profound, whatever?
Right.
I will say this, as who I am as a person, the way that I view and value comedy and how I view it as opposed to our existence on this planet and our life and just everything, I would say maybe you could say South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut
Oh wow.
was one of the most religious experiences I ever had in a movie theater. And to this day, it's my favorite musical, and I still sing it. And it's still like a piece of my. It's still an active piece of my life. I listen to it all the time when I'm like nervous and stuff. And so I don't know. Maybe that's the answer. We all three answered it differently. But
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Oh, and Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ, right? That of course, that was number one. Everything
There it
else is
is.
two. Okay, 4. What's your favorite movie that features an all animal or animal centric cast?
Whoa.
This is obviously promo for Animal Farm, directed by Andy Serkis, coming out soon. An all animal cast.
Probably Cats, right?
Oh yeah, cats. I'll tell you what. Before my that was one of the best like experiences going to the movies I had right before the pandemic. Like that was like I went with all my friends. That was fun time at the movies. I'll say that. All animal cast. I mean, obviously, Babe 2 sticks out in my head. Babe 2 is a great movie.
Babe is so good. So I'm gonna put Babe. I'm gonna say Babe 1 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? There are ones I saw like as a 6-year-old, like Star Wars, like The Rescuers or something.
The
like
Rescuers is so good.
Oh yeah, I guess
love that.
animated counts. I didn't even think
Yeah.
about
Oh
that.
yeah. All the Pixar ones.
I'm thinking like live action
and
only.
Disney
Oh,
ones with.
Well, wait. If rabbits count, Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Well, but they're humans.
I know that doesn't. I know it's humans.
So
There's humans in Babe though.
There's humans in Babe.
So maybe
She said it says animal centric.
okay. I thought
counts.
So I'm gonna go with ones I've recently come to like, probably because my son has forced me to watch them. So I'm gonna go with Fantastic Mr. Fox and
That's a great
Rango.
movie.
And Rango are two of my favorites.
Rango is one of my favorites of all time.
Can
I say Mouse Hunt?
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes.
I don't know if but that's like say
They don't-
Cujo. I don't think
I
that
know
counts.
the mouse doesn't talk.
Yeah, I don't think that counts.
I love Mouse Hunt.
It's like
so
say
much.
Jaws. I'm going with Jaws then.
We should do Mouse Hunt, but I
God,
don't know, Jamie. I don't know if you're going to tolerate that one.
Such a
But
great movie.
yeah, there's a lot of answers you could say, but Babe, I'll go with Babe too. 5. If you were going to pick a movie to screen for Earth Day, what would you choose?
Wow.
Where are we screening this? Like
For which audience?
Yeah, I mean,
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah, Toxic Avenger.
I was
right.
going to go with Road Warrior.
Yeah, right.
Wow. Yeah. Waterworld.
Yeah, Waterworld. It's good.
What was the there was a sci-fi movie before Star Wars my dad forced me to watch about the last forest on Earth. It's famous 70s movie. Gosh, I can't think of what it's called. Silent Running. Is that
I
right?
got one that we recently talked about on Avatar. Fern Gully.
Fern Gully is good.
Fern Gully, Katie.
So,
Fern Gully.
Katie, no human alive should put me in charge of picking a movie to screen for Earth Day. And because of that, because to punish them, I would choose Freddy Got Fingered. All right.
Environmentally friendly film.
Yeah, right.
I guess.
6. What is your favorite myth or fairy tale? That's
wow.
Mm.
Myth or fairy tale?
I mean, I love the Never-Ending Story so much, and
Is that a fairy tale? That's a book.
no,
And a
it's
movie.
mythic though.
It is myth, yeah.
I'm going to
It's
go with
exploring.
Oedipus.
Yeah,
Oedipus.
right.
Oh, you guys are thinking it's like
not
those
necessarily.
myths, like
It-
actual.
I think it's open to interpretation.
It's open.
The first season of Jim Henson's Storyteller is one of the most haunting and scary things that has ever filmed. Well,
Mhm.
all of those. That's what I'm saying. That's my answer is Jim Henson's Storyteller, season 1.
I always had a thing for the Greek mythology, so like Clash of the Titans kind of stuff in general.
Yeah,
It's always
that's
been
good.
one of
That's
my
good.
things. I like Medusa and all that stuff, the Minotaur. I've always thought that was stuff was fun.
My favorite Disney movie is Hercules. Does that count?
Yeah, totally.
There
Yeah.
you go. I think she's asking not movie based, but
I think you're right. Sorry.
Pinocchio, Alice in
Yeah.
Wonderland. Do these
Good
count?
one.
Pinocchio
I
is
think
an
so.
excellent one.
Yeah. Okay. Number 7. If you were an action figure, what accessories would come in your box? This is really breaking us down, man. This is great. This is an excellent way to end this beast of an episode.
Let's pick
pickleball paddle.
3.
We each have 3 items that come in our box.
Let's pick 3. Jamie, what'd you say?
I said I'd have a pickleball paddle for sure because I play almost every day. So that would be one of the things. I'm trying to think of things I generally do every day. I mean, a laptop's kind of boring, but that's kind of what I have around. It's what I have around me all day long. You know, I'm typing on my laptop, and then I'll have a save the cat book.
I don't know if it count the items. You know how like action figures have items of clothing and weapons that are separated from the figure itself.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would say like a RoboCop hat, and I want a robot dog, which is probably not what she's looking for. She wants stuff to like define us, I guess. And God,
A retractable lightsaber that goes in your arm.
can I have like a car?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I want a car. I want like the Bobmobile.
Yeah,
I want my
remember the
action figure to
Bobmobile.
come only with a giant like car accessory like you would get in the
Malibu
90s.
Bob.
Yeah, like the Ecto one with the Ghostbuster toys. Like I want that. Like, but the Bob
good.
version of that, which would be like a, you know, like a boat car or something like that. You know,
I would come with. I have my markers, my highlighters and markers that I use on scripts. That's most of the time in a Golden Girls pencil bag. So the pencil bag with the markers, and
you have a headset that leaks ooze.
the listeners don't know that my headset for like 6 months was leaking this strange liquid all over whatever was on my desk, and Bob finally gave me a new one this episode, so who knows if it's working or
We'll
not.
see. We'll see.
Okay, so the pencil case with the red, yellow, and orange markers that I do script butchering on. Sadly, also boring the laptop for sure. And then a third one is I have a mug. My hands don't work very well. Not a lot to do with doing scripts all day. My hands don't work very well, so I drop a lot of things. So I can't really hold glasses well. They're risky in my hand. So I always have a mug so that I can hold the handle. So I always have a mug on me. So that you put the mug in there.
So yeah,
there you go.
So you're like going to work and accounting for your physical ailments.
Yeah.
I'm giving myself a robot dog.
Well, I worked retail for 17 years before that, so that didn't help my hands.
Yeah.
Processed like 8 million clothes.
Jesus.
That's not a joke.
Jamie, did you say yours? You said yours, right?
Yes, I would say a pickleball paddle, a laptop, and a Save the Cat book. They
Okay.
would be my top. There
Yeah.
you go.
Number 8. If you had to work at a circus, what job would you pick?
This one's too easy for me.
What is it?
I would be a
Oh,
juggler.
yeah,
I'd be-
juggler, right.
I'd be either
Yeah.
the juggler or some kind of clown for sure.
I guess I'd want to be the guy that's like screaming at people outside. and they come in the
Ringmaster?
tent.
Oh, the barker.
No, the guy
Barker.
that's outside of the tent trying to sell the circus to people to walk into the tent.
That's cool.
What
I
was-
could
there's a-
see, yeah.
The festival barker or something like that.
Yeah, I
whatever
know.
that is.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, step right up.
Right. The step right up.
Yeah. So I know it would be like the hardest job there, but I would want to be the elephant wrangler because they're like one of my favorite animals, and I'd want to treat them as good as they could possibly be treated in this captive situation. So yeah, I'd want to be the person who works with the elephants.
Okay, number 9. We're almost done. Do you have a favorite pair of shoes? And if yes, what and why? I can answer this for me. I've been wearing because of I had my good friend Victor Accord. I don't think he listens to this show.
Love you, Victor. If you are listening,
love you, Victor. Long time ago, Victor's told me as a fellow fat man was like he's like, I wear these New Balance shoes and my feet haven't hurt since I started wearing them. I've been wearing New Balances since the day Victor told me that. Black New Balance shoes. I know the company's got some dark history and stuff. I know, but man, it's the only
I don't know
company.
anything about that.
Yeah, well, it's the only company that makes shoes where my feet just don't have any problems. So
I have the exact same story. I mean, it's funny. I always want to change, and every time I try, my ankles hurt, my knees get bad and stuff. So I wear New Balance too.
yeah.
So I was going to go a different direction with this because I've worn New Balance probably for the last 15 years for that reason. I was going to go with my favorite pair of shoes ever. My favorite pair of shoes ever were a pair of camouflage Chucks, and I sort of became known as the guy who wore camouflage Chucks. So they were my favorite pair of shoes ever.
That's awesome.
There you go.
For me, it's how do I tell this shortly? I was ahead of the curve with Crocs to the point that they were a joke when they first came out, like 20 years ago. When like there was one small kiosk at the mall and everybody was like, what the hell are these things? And I had a friend, because I said I worked retail, so I stood on my feet for like 12 hours a day and my feet hurt like hell because of it. So I had a friend who also worked in retail and also just happened to be a special effects person who did the special effects on our first movie, Book of Lore. And he was like, dude, you got to wear these things at the mall kiosk called Crocs. They'll change your life. And I wore them. I could, and dude, like they eliminated like back issues for me, everything. But then, and I ended up wearing them on the set of like multiple movies, and everybody's like, what the hell are these things? But I got made fun of so much at work that I stopped wearing them.
People bullied you out of Crocs.
People bullied me out of wearing Crocs, but those OG 2005-ish Crocs, 2006 Crocs, they were the best, man.
Jimmy's wearing his Crocs, eating Dippin' Dots, walking through the mall.
Dippin' Dots.
Yeah. Side note, I fucking worked full time at the mall during making all of those movies. So like on my break, I'd be like doing a production Bible while eating my food court food for a half an hour.
I'm surprised you were allowed to wear Crocs at the mall, like at your job. I figured.
Well, it was an issue.
Okay.
Yeah. What are these weird things you're wearing?
Do you know about the Idiocracy thing?
No.
Where like the costume designer had to choose what everyone in the future would be wearing, and he found what he called like the most idiotic and awful footwear he's ever found. and that was like 2004. And then like there's a story that like the guy like publicly was like to the whole crew and cast like these like awful looking things, these abominations. And then 2 years later, they were like the most popular footwear on earth.
That's great.
Yeah. Okay, last question, and I hope I pronounced this right, Katie. What is your favorite objet d'art in your home? I just looked it up. It means object d'art describes a range of works of art, usually small and three-dimensional.
Whoa.
So like, it's like, oh man,
I thought it was object dart. No,
object dart. Yeah, what are your favorite objective dart? I like this question because it's like Katie assuming how cultured we are. You know, it's like, oh, you're gonna be so disappointed. I have a fake hoverboard I made 30 years ago as a kid that's still in my room right now, and it looks awful. I'm not going to show a picture of it, but does that count as like,
I have not seen that? Totally does.
Does that count?
Yes,
It's a hoverboard I made as a kid out of pure love and fantasy. And I used to like go outside and put on the ground and not move and stand on it.
I haven't seen that before.
It's
That's cool.
it's just it's a purple skateboard that was hoverboard taped on it, the words in text, but it's special to me from my childhood. I guess that counts as art.
It totally counts.
It's child art.
I have a I am sounding really weird with this marker and pen fetish coming through on this.
I kind of love that
podcast.
Katie's asking us like questions that have nothing to do with movies, and all three of us are like,
it's movies.
The second you move away from media, I'm like, there's just completely nothing to give.
I have a handmade koozie from Little Shop of Gore. That is, they do themed koozies, and I actually am getting the blob one that's coming. And I don't use it as a koozie. I use it to hold my markers and pens. So I have it right there on the bookshelf with like all my Goosebumps books. I've got my alien egg case. It's like the egg from Alien. It's open and covered with fake slime and veins, and it's textured, and it's a very big koozie. And I keep my backup markers and pens for script butchering in there, and they sit on the shelf next to my Goosebumps books.
Jamie,
there you go.
Yeah, that's it. I'm just staring behind me because that's usually.
I mean, you got that angel puppet.
The angel puppet. I was thinking I have a lot of props and movie stuff.
Yeah.
I have a RoboCop gun.
Oh, fuck! I didn't even know you had that.
Yeah, I have. I'm gonna go with, just because it seems like I've mentioned this 3 times already on the podcast today. I'm gonna go with. I have a little prop from Altered in a jar. Basically there's a scene where they have to cut an alien implant out of the guy, and I have this little, and it looks like nothing. You would never know what it was. It looks
the probe.
Yeah, it's basically the probe that they cut out of the guy, and it's in a jar, and I have it sitting behind me. So I'm going to go with that. I'll go with that. It just has a story behind it, so it's more interesting than some of the other stuff.
Oh, I got a second answer. I have an oozinator. Do you know what an oozinator?
No, what the hell is that?
It sounds like something from Ghostbusters.
It's kind of an internet famous squirt gun. It was made in the aughts, and it was a squirt gun that shot bio ooze, and the bio ooze was white slime.
Oh my god!
And if you look it up online, which I'm sure Katie will do after listening to this, the commercial's famous because it's a bunch of kids pumping the gun and squirting white, like creamy ooze all over each other. And that kind of went viral because it was like, what were they thinking?
Oh my god, that's
But
so.
I have an oozinator in my home, and that is a work of art. A true work of art is
Wow.
an oozinator. I should hang it on my wall like it's like a gun, like people hang rifles and stuff above like a above like a fireplace. I want to hang my
There's
oozinator,
Bob's
my
oozinator.
oozinator. So there you go. I love that all three of us is just it's all movie memorabilia.
Yeah, exactly. That's all we are.
Or just crap from like the 90s.
Thank you for your questions, Katie.
Yeah, Katie,
They're awesome.
thanks for listening always and giving us feedback and just supporting the show.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, it's like we're like 3.5 hours in.
3.5 hours.
Yeah. I hope we answered enough people's questions.
So stay tuned to part 2 next week.
Yeah, we're gonna do a second part. We're gonna do the big part, the 5-hour one.
No, but let's go ahead and talk about. So the next episode that's coming up is 150, and we're gonna do the Shawshank Redemption.
Right.
So,
and that's Jimmy.
very
That's like
excited about
that's
that.
been on Jimmy's list forever, right?
Yeah.
That's
It's my favorite movie.
Yeah, it's Jimmy's favorite movie. Yeah.
So there you go. So
yeah, really.
Thank you.
We should do RoboCop because we've
Yep.
done all Jamie's favorite movies.
Yep. We have our list still, and I think there's 8
Well,
for each of us.
we haven't
still
done
left.
9.5 weeks yet.
Yeah, we haven't. We're gonna do that.
Jamie's calling back to a joke from 3.5 hours ago.
We're gonna do that, then Passion of the Christ, then
The real ones who
Shawshank. Yeah.
stayed to the end will know.
Nobody's
hell you're
staying.
talking
Nobody's
about.
listening to this. It's fine.
Yeah, I'd love to see the metrics on this one.
Who cares? It's for the fans. This is
That's
it's
right.
an abnormal episode. I don't even know what the image is gonna be.
You know what? You know
I'll
what's
have to
weird?
Photoshop something.
What's weird about this episode? It's kind of maniacal because there will be people that stay to see if we ask their question
And it'll
all
be
the way to
3.5
the end,
hours.
and they'll have to listen to 3.5 hours. And they're probably the ones Jimmy said, let's skip that one.
Yeah. just to be
sorry.
clear, many people were skipped. There's no
Yes, I'm
feasible way
sorry.
we could have done everything.
It's not true. Just one person was
Yeah, it's
skipped.
just one guy.
If you didn't hear your question, you were the one.
You're the guy that got skipped. And if you're really mad, well,
And-
right.
And
to
you
Nick
heard
Cage.
Jimmy was the one that decided to skip. You're the one person who got skipped.
If we get enough hate
Well-
from this, we can change our name to Nick Cage.
Nick
scripts or
Cage
whatever.
talks scripts.
Coming
The word is such a weird title.
No, that would have been so much more popular though, and we would have been
Rebranding.
turning people away from that.
It would have just
That
been
was the
people
title.
being like, "Why is this called this?"
We made a big mistake not calling it that.
Nick Cage talks.
That's like-
script.
That's going to go down as like one of the biggest mistakes in my life.
On his deathbed, James.
I'll never,
I
We
should've
should change
pushed.
the title.
I'll never forgive this one.
Imagine if we asked Ed Sanchez to guest on our show, and he's like, "Yeah, sure. What is it called?" Nick Cage talks script.
Our one guest episode.
Yeah, thank you to Ed for
Yeah.
all the years. He's the only guy.
Yes. Well, thank you to everyone who emailed, and if we didn't get to your question, maybe we will at a later date. And just thank you to everyone who's listened over the years. It's really cool to hear like the gamut of the variety of people and like their backgrounds,
Yeah.
That's cool in itself. So
Yeah, no, like literally, we've been doing this for so long; it doesn't even seem real
I
at this
know.
point. So I'm just glad, like when you guys write and say that it helped at all, it's like, or just you, even
Yeah.
if just you enjoy listening to it while you're door dashing.
Yeah, that's
That's
so cool.
awesome. Yeah, good. We made somebody's life less miserable for a moment. That's like what it's all about.
That's all you can hope for.
Yeah. So Jamie, did you want to say anything?
We can't
Did you want to
see
say
whether
something?
Jamie's even there.
I know
and
Jamie could be up to sleep.
No,
You don't even know.
because his face is
It's
just
frozen
with
for
his mouth
like the
wide
last
open.
2 hours.
No, that's really what my faces look like for the last 2 hours.
Wait, Bob, that should be the show image.
Just
It's
Jamie's frozen face.
that we had
Yeah,
to
that's like you could.
look at for 2.5
I think
hours.
I think the comment can be if the running time doesn't turn you off, this should.
Okay, I just screenshotted it. If you want me to actually use it, I can, Jamie. If you want it to happen.
I think it would be a big hit if the title was the Nick Cage Reach podcast.
Put Nick Cage talk scripts as the
It'll be like some weird
title image.
It'll be like some weird Japanese t-shirt. Actually, it should be one of Bob's t-shirts.
Yeah, right.
That'd be a big hit.
So wait, what is the image for this then? What is it? Jamie frozen with Nick Cage's head, and it said Nick Cage talks scripts.
No Nick Cage's head. Just really confuse people.
Just Jamie frozen and Nick Cage talk scripts.
Good Lord.
Okay.
I think
sure.
All right.
Okay, well, I think it's time for us to drain our personal
I have to pee.
urinal device.
I do have to pee.
What? You're not wearing diapers?
No. Next time I will when we do this ever again. I'll wear a diaper. I'll do this from the toilet. Just
You just have to.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
There you go. Okay, thank you everybody.
Thanks for listening to everyone.
That's like almost 4 hours of talking. So. Hey, this is Bob Rose, and thank you for listening to Writers Blockbusters. If you'd like to financially support the show, please consider joining my Patreon. I've been producing the podcast for several years completely out of pocket, and I'd like to keep producing it ad-free and no longer at a loss. If you'd like to help, head on over to patreon.com/Bob Rose Sucks. That's right, Bob Rose Sucks. And if you want the one and only Jimmy George to help polish up that writing project you're kind of struggling with, head on over to scriptbutcher.com. As a listener, you already know he's the best there is, scriptbutcher.com. You can also support the show by simply sharing it or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate both. Thank you for listening, and see you next episode.